when you get a supercar, if you haven't owned one yet, it's never what you think it's going to be. It's something different. I think we know in our brain, even though we've never been in it, what a Ferrari feels like, what a Lamborghini feels like, what a McLaren feels like, what a Porsche feels like.
There's no heart, there's
like,
no
wait,
soul.
Wait, that's my girlfriend over there. Why is she with that guy in an Aventador? Oh my God.
Why is it spitting flames?
This is terrible.
So when we like something, you should all just trust that it's actually the best.
I mean, I don't know who else to listen to out here. Okay.
I think sometimes we can get a little biased depending on what it is. I will.
You guys get a little
opener.
excited sometimes.
We do.
For sure.
Like
you know,
why
it's easy to get excited.
Can you blame
Remember, I fetishize these things.
Right. You're a sick puppy. Yes.
Oh, is this the purpose he came
This
here
is the
for?
purpose.
This is
Some people
one
go
of
to
the
therapy.
purposes.
I go on Supercar Connection.
Yes.
Stop. We can't do this.
This is the best part about a podcast is the conversations right before on the film.
Yeah. So what I try to do is never. I try to stop this moment.
Okay.
Because this is all the good shit.
Right.
This is the natural shit.
We like to just kind of quarterback sneak into.
What'd you say? Oh, Dr. Nick, Dr. Crown,
Dr. Crown,
Crown.
Dr. Crown, Dr. Nicholas Crown.
Yeah.
Are we ready? Are we good? We're on.
PhD in finance.
We're rolling.
PhD in supercars. PhD in finance, bro.
PhD in Pirelli tires.
Nicholas Crown.
PhD in douchebaggery. Yeah.
Welcome to Supercar Connection.
PhD in warming the tires. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Dr. Crown.
Okay. I thought about this on the flight. Okay.
He came ready.
I
He came
asked
so loud.
myself a question.
Okay.
So I'm doing your job a little bit here.
That's
Okay,
fine.
so pick it up.
Yeah,
You're picking up the slack for us, baby.
Picking
Come
up
on
the
now.
slack.
I love it.
Okay. This is that type A East Coast shit.
Let's go, baby.
Okay. I said, what is a supercar? What is a supercar?
You're asking the same question everybody asks.
And then I thought really, really hard about it. And I came up with what I think is the best answer.
Really? Okay, so what is a supercar, Dr. Crown?
Here's the test. If you hand your friend the key and he can open the door, he can start the car, and he can put it into gear without asking you how, it's not a supercar. It's not a supercar.
But if you check
If he
all
goes,
those boxes,
how do I open the door?
He has to have zero knowledge then.
Just a guy off the street.
Guy off the street.
Because
if I hand him the key to anything that I have or vice versa.
he's ahead though.
Right. We're going to figure it
He
out.
studies things.
I'm versed in supercar.
You're like you're
Fluent.
an aficionado.
Yeah.
Right.
You have a fetish for this stuff.
Yeah.
I think fetish is an understatement.
It
But
is.
Yeah. Like he takes it to the next level.
No, you know your buddy from high school you haven't seen in 10 years? That guy.
Yes.
You hand him the key.
The one that, okay, I get
If
it.
he can go through all three of these key procedures without asking you how, it's not a supercar.
How much time does he get to figure it out?
He gets 5 minutes.
Okay. He does no shot.
He's got no shot.
There's no
So
shot.
I have a supercar by that measure.
You might have the most supercar out of that by that measure.
The harder it
I
is to
passed
open the
this test
door.
last night with my friend.
Here we go. Rock and roll.
His start
He
sequence.
couldn't even get in the car. He's like, "What do I do?" I'm like, "It's not that hard. You push the handle and you pull it."
So here's the problem, right? Porsche. I don't think Porsche is one of those brands that we love Porsche, but you give someone the key,
They know what to do.
they're going to friggin' sadly open the door. They're going to start it and they're going to friggin' put it into gear.
Not sadly though, because we don't love Porsche.
Let's talk
And
about
you're
it.
And the cold
100%
start's
correct on
not
that
even
part.
going to be that great either.
It's not going to be that great.
Hell no, it's not going to be that great. It's absolutely, it's saddening, even with an exhaust.
And then the
cold start's
idle is
still
going to
sad.
sound a bit like a weed whacker
Yep, 100%.
until you go get an exhaust on it from either our boy at Gentani or R1 or whoever
Put those
in
titaniums on it.
between.
And it's still not going to even sound that crazy because it's still.
I
you
mean,
can hear
they sound pretty good.
the V6 in it.
This
At least
is where
for
I'm
me,
going to disagree with you.
the pitch. I can still hear the V6 through everything, which is my problem. It just doesn't do it for me.
Dude,
Is it just that though about Porsche?
No,
It's not.
I have
It goes
a personal
deeper than
I have
that, doesn't
personal
it?
vendetta. Yeah, I'm traumatized as a child.
What happened,
Personal.
Joe?
All right, so pretty much with my personal traumas that go into Porsche is growing up in the car scene and being like a car enthusiast growing up, I always couldn't understand why everyone was so obsessive over the brand.
Mhm.
And it was not just car people. You had people that didn't know anything about cars, but for whatever reason, Porsche was like the one thing that those people seemed to like, oh, he's got a Porsche. Like that guy has a Porsche.
He knows something.
He's him. He's something.
Yeah.
So I could never figure out, okay, why does that car correlate to something that someone has no idea about cars? Why does that car make that person elevated status amongst people?
And we're saying similar dollar amount, $150,000 Porsche.
That's the problem. What the problem behind it is Porsche has done such a great job marketing and they've kind of brainwashed the mass amount of people because they have a great car at every price point, a great car at every price point for what it is. The problem is you get like the dentist doctor that makes that 100 to 150 salary. He goes out and gets himself a Carrera. Others see him and they're like, that guy made it. He got a Porsche. So everybody assumes and that don't know, they're like, that's the car. The Porsche is the I made it level. But then when you're actually in the scene.
You mean when you actually made it?
When you actually made it. Because back in the day, and again, maybe I'm a little biased now, but my scope of making it is no longer what it was when I was.
It keeps changing, doesn't it?
When I was 14. Yeah, absolutely. Are you kidding me? It's always a moving goalpost.
We're also talking about back in the day. You want to hear something that you haven't addressed? Back in the day, Porsche. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
This is new.
Go ahead, baby.
So you're talking about a time where Lambo, Ferrari, McLaren didn't even exist.
Yeah.
Lambo and Ferrari, they make cars that are difficult, have lots of problems, have clutches that last 20,000 miles. Very few people actually bought supercars. They didn't sell very many. So the Porsche was the only expensive, nice, flashy-ish sports car that wasn't a Corvette.
Okay.
So the Lambo, Ferrari, that's a whole different story. Now, a Huracan, easy money, bulletproof. Your friend could get in a Huracan, open the door, start the car,
okay,
Put it in gear.
And you're definitely not parking it.
No,
you're definitely not parking
absolutely
it.
not. Absolutely not.
Here's the thing, right? To me, you have to pick the quirks that you like and minimize the quirks you don't. The thing with Porsche is it doesn't have nearly enough quirks for me to fall in love the same way another car. It's like a beautiful woman. You don't want her to actually be perfect.
Exactly.
You want her to have a little flaw.
Exactly.
Wow.
Big nose.
You're speaking his language.
You know,
you get
one
me so
ear.
much, Nicholas.
One ear.
Just give me something.
That's it.
I
need a
give me
little
that
flaw.
Van Gogh ear.
Yeah, give me something that I can grab onto.
Right.
Something that
Otherwise,
I can
I'm just lost.
Obsess over it. Exactly.
We're just in a land of perfection.
Yeah,
which is heaven is not a place where much goes down.
Exactly.
And when you get into a Porsche, you go, shit, everything works.
I don't like that.
Works
I
well.
don't like that.
I like to be a little like it's almost like I tell people like I'm a little bit crazy when you like now we're talking about the correlations like a woman. I'm a little bit crazy. I need a little bit of crazy just so I can kind of be like, okay, there's a loving relationship here.
Well, it reflects you.
Exactly.
You're not perfect. I'm not perfect.
Not at all.
Gavin, you're closer to perfect,
I'm there.
but you're
I'm
not.
as Porsche as it gets, all right? I'm basically a Turbo S.
So clean.
Wow, laughing in these headphones or something.
Right.
Wow, that got me for the first time.
So everyone, this is the first time the Supercar Connection is using headphones.
Yes.
At my thorough prodding and pushing.
Yes. Dr. Crown messaged us and let us
For
know
real.
he was flying in for this. So we were like, okay, we need to elevate. And he also was like, I'm actually bringing my Italian imported headphones into this. So I said, okay, we need to step our game up.
Right.
So Gavin
And
and
so
I look
everyone
like
just
rookies.
German
jumped
headphones.
on board.
German. My bad.
Yeah, I was even talking to him. I was like, so how do we break it to him that we probably aren't going to run headphones?
Well, that's why I texted you guys, because I knew you fucking weren't going to run headphones. Okay? So that was me lightly saying, guess what? We're running headphones.
You're lucky we booked a studio that has headphones to run.
Yeah.
Bro,
Well, I would have rented a mobile, studio and just parked it outside.
It was meant to be.
He literally goes, he's like, how are we going to tell him we don't run headphones? And he was like, that's just going to be a bridge we cross when we get there. I was like, well, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Well, here's the thing, right? So I watched the show. I love the show.
Thank
I DM'd you guys.
Thank
I'm
you.
like, hey, you guys remember me, the guy that used to make the rich versus really rich videos?
Are you
Can
kidding
I
me?
come on your freaking show? And I know that you don't wear headphones. So I was like, all right, we're going to just BYO.
Well, then in that
H.
case, so when you came to us with that, I go, okay, this is an expert podcaster. If he's used to that aura, that means you've been on other podcasts and or have podcasts that you're like, this is how we do things.
Yeah.
So this is the elevated experience. I feel like I'm finally in the Aventador of podcasting.
Yeah, for real.
Before I've been dicking around in a GTS of podcasting.
Right.
It's cool.
Right.
It's all right, but no.
Yeah.
This is
So
this
these
is
go in
straight
the
pipe
carry-on
into
or
it.
the check
appreciate
bag?
that. What'd you say?
Those go in the carry-on or the check bag?
You think I check a bag? Look at me. You think I have time to check a bag?
2-day
Fair.
trip. He's high and tight. Come on now.
2-day
baby.
trip. I'm dialed in.
Yeah, he's got everything he
Like
needs.
if I get a stain on this shirt, we're done.
It's the remote carry-on,
game over.
ready to go.
Dinner's canceled.
We're going
Tomorrow's
right
canceled.
to Balenciaga. We're restarting the whole process all over again. Okay? I'm going to fly home and I'm going to fly back.
You came here with a purpose.
I did. And it's
Aventador
that-
S
Yes.
or 765 LT?
Yes.
Oh, is this the purpose he came
This
here
is the
for?
purpose.
This is
Some people
one
go
of
to
the
therapy.
purposes.
I go on Supercar Connection.
Yes, we're at what's like Larry Springer. Is that what it is? when they
Yeah.
talk.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly what it is.
So here's the deal, right? When you get a supercar, if you haven't owned one yet, it's never what you think it's going to be. It's something different. I think we know in our brain, even though we've never been in it, what a Ferrari feels like, what a Lamborghini feels like, what a McLaren feels like, what a Porsche feels like. But you get into the fucking thing and it's different.
It's so much different.
It's different. And so what I do is across my whole life, I rent everything before I buy it. Everything.
You
Great
try it
idea.
out, 100%.
Hey, you want to move to Chicago? Rent a place for 30 days and tell me if you like it. Oh, you want to move to the suburbs just because you're tired of the city life? Rent the freaking house, right? Don't go all in until you know what it feels like. Because I've had experiences in my life, enough of them, where I go, I've dreamed this, everything has been leading up to this moment. And I get in and I go, fuck this. This is not what I want.
You want to
Yeah.
open a position on Apple? You're not going to dive all in. We can start a starter position. We could put 10% of capital allocated there.
That's
and
right.
We'll slowly DCA as we see the swing and back
And
up.
see what happens.
Exactly.
Yes.
You get it. You get
Because-
the way to properly do life.
Yes. And you guys, let's face it. Like, there should be a disclaimer on this show. People are spending huge amounts of money listening to you guys and saying, fucking Joe. Joe drives an Aventador. I'm going to get a fucking Aventador. It's $500,000 and then some, depending on, I didn't look too closely out there, but it's
Then
probably
you
north
drive
of
it
that.
and you go, this
Depending on
thing
the trim
sucks.
level, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And you drive it and you go, I don't want this. What the hell, this son of a bitch?
What am I doing with
Single
this?
clutch? What am I
Single-
doing?
this is sick.
Why would I do this to
Right.
myself?
I'm going to drive this once a month.
But this is why you got to rent it. And so, like everyone hates on you go to Miami, you rent a car. Everyone hates on you go to LA, you rent a car. Why not? Why? What's bad about that? I live in Chicago. It's warm for like 14 minutes. Okay. My tires are frozen for most of the year. Okay. If I want to audition a new car before I buy it, I fly to Miami and I rent a car.
Hell
And
yeah.
it costs me $1,000. And then I go, now I can come on Supercar Connection, right? I got rid of my 488. I've got a G63 now, AMG, and that's a whole another conversation.
I was like, we'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
He's a fan.
Okay.
I'm a fan.
I heard you on one of these episodes. Yeah.
Anyone who drives one has to be a fan. It's
Yeah,
a perfect
100%.
car.
Yeah. Yeah. So now where I am is I'm like, okay, big dog, where are we going next?
Huracan Sterrato.
Huracan Sterrato was on the short list.
Wow.
Yeah.
Chicago.
Yeah. I mean, honestly,
So-
it's a great pick, though.
So the Sterrato was on the short list. I just don't know. I'm going 15 different directions here, guys. I'm sorry.
I'm following you in
I
every
dragged
direction.
you a random
Yeah,
direction.
no,
That's my bad.
I try to buy really smart.
Okay.
I believe you.
I can't help myself. I'm not the guy at the flea market, haggling over a plate, but I'm the guy that's like, I can't buy something stupid.
No. You let the market come to you. That's
Yes.
how everybody that makes good
Yeah,
decisions
that's the trader.
does the
That's
thing.
the old school Wall Street guy in me.
I understand
I can't help
completely.
it.
I understand
So
completely.
the Sterrato was one of those cars where I felt really strongly about it in the beginning because they didn't actually make a ton of them.
They didn't.
Mhm.
They didn't.
They didn't.
And then I put the Sterrato, if you guys want to see my comparative economics here, I put the Sterrato directly next to the Dakar. And I said, the Dakar, I think, is overinflated.
Oh, well, by a long shot.
Tremendously.
And I think it's, having been I've had some experience with the Dakar. And I was just like, the Sterrato is weirder, rarer, cooler,
More fun.
more
Way more
fun,
fun.
More rowdy.
more
100%.
rowdy. And then I
It's
just
missing an ear.
And then I just didn't see the move on the secondary market. And you can go out and get a new Sterrato right now, even though they haven't made them in quite a while.
Right.
That gives my little heart, a little palpitation.
Yes. Well, the problem is, too, is you got to understand, too, it's like everything you just said, there's others that notice those same things. So with the secondary market without the drop-off is because there's not going to be a drop-off, truly, in my opinion. At least not right now. Especially with everything that's going on in the car world right now. That drop's definitely not coming anytime soon. So now this is the biggest part about and why people don't buy cars correctly. Your desire kicks in. Your emotions kick in. So now you're trying to make a reasonable financial decision while trying to keep your emotions at bay. But we're also talking about something you're buying so that you can tap into your emotions.
This is awesome.
That's
amazing.
It's like you can't have everything. So you have to pick, am I going to be the smart buyer and I might not get the car I want always, but I'm going to buy right so I'll be able to move off of it later?
Right.
Or am I going to just go anytime I want something? I'm just going to go get what I want.
The problem is the go get what you want can really hurt depending on what car you buy.
Trust me.
Oh, yeah.
Trust me. I'm very aware of that.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Okay.
Go get a 750, a brand new McLaren 750.
Geez.
Yes.
$450,000.
That'll hurt later. That'll hurt.
Maybe an SF90 at 800 a couple years ago.
Be the big boss. They got it right out of the factory. Be the big boss.
I think the biggest rug pulls in the supercar space
What a terminology.
For real.
have been from Ferrari, unfortunately, recently.
I agree completely.
Yeah, they're struggling.
I agree completely. That is the biggest meme coin that possible was Ferrari.
And how did they get
Meme
themselves
coin.
in that situation?
They built the brand up to be able to do it.
How did they get themselves in the situation of making the car that we didn't want?
Now you're talking specifically about the F80?
I'm talking about hybrid drivetrains.
The direction. You're talking about the direction they're going.
I didn't get to the F80.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, here's
haven't gotten
the only devil's advocate to that.
Yeah.
The LaFerrari
Yes.
is a hybrid drivetrain, but somehow it's magical. I haven't driven one, but everyone that I've ever
I
talked
haven't
to that
driven one
has
either. Yeah.
driven one
Yeah.
says it's incredible.
That's a fair point. I would need to understand more of the way that car works to be able to say this, but I'll say this to what his point is. The problem is Ferrari's always been, or at least from the beginning, they've been the brand pushing performance. So in all reality, if we're going to be grown-ups right now in Supercar Connection.
Oh, wait. Hang on. I got to go.
We're going to change the dynamic for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
The future of performance is in that direction. Performance.
Because we need that at the low end.
100%. It's just like, for example, like it's just you can't grip traction like that. It's just it doesn't happen. So having those electric motors, the traction is just so much
We're
better.
talking about hybrid.
Yeah, we're talking about the
technology.
hybrid.
But
technology.
here's where I get a little squirrely, right? So McLaren does this with the Artura, which it's self-charging, right? It's not a plug-in,
Correct.
right? When you have something that you have to fill with gas and charge, dude,
Pain in
like
the ass.
what?
And if you don't have it plugged
Pain in
in
the
for more
ass.
than like 4 days straight, it might die.
Yeah.
And if it dies, you have a replace a battery
If
for
it dies,
$150,000.
I mean, maybe not replace the battery, but you got to go get it recharged or something at the dealership for who
you
knows
got to
what.
get it towed out. So imagine
Yes.
you're in your downtown Chicago high rise. Okay, you're parked 3 floors down, and your Artura dies. You're gonna get a tow truck down there, and you're
No.
gonna go through all that mess.
No.
I would take it and then just trade it in. I'll give me a 750 at this
Cars
point.
were such a headache. They found out how to make them easy and reliable, and now they're just back to being a super headache again. Like, oh, you want to order a 296? Plug it in every time you pull it in the garage.
But
if
I'm
you
like,
don't, it
you
might
know-
die. If it does, you got to tow it out.
Yeah. Just break the way it used to break. Can't you make them break the way they used to break, guys?
Nope.
Can't they all just be like a Huracan, but better?
Right.
Can we just make better Huracans?
Let's talk about Lamborghini. Because I think that the biggest battle royale, if you're a young man, is deciding if you're going to buy a Ferrari or a Lamborghini. Because you're basically looking yourself in the mirror and saying, what kind of guy am I?
Does it
do
stop
I-
with just those two though?
It starts with those two. And
I
then
feel
it
you.
evolves
I feel you.
dangerously out from that.
Do I wear a flooded watch
Right.
or not?
Do I swirl my wine glass like this
Yes.
and
then
go
hold
to
it up to
Stade?
light.
Yes, exactly.
Or do I kick it and blow 30 G's in the club
Yep.
in Miami?
100%.
You know? The problem is, guys, I hate to, spoil it. Some people do both.
That's me. I swirl the wine and then I drive Lambo.
I know. I know. That's why I'm here. Okay? Because the Supercar Connection is the best show because of this reason. Every other show hides the reality of what a supercar is behind performance. They go, oh yeah, I bought my Ferrari, my Lamborghini because, it's so lightweight. The materials, dude. Oh, they just keep increasing the horsepower. This thing is ridiculous. It's so much more planted. Bro, okay, you guys are a little bit more honest about things. And that's why the Gav and
100%.
Joe, dichotomy here is interesting because more of a technician and then more of someone who's pushing the culture, the style, the flex factor.
100%.
And the truth is these decisions are connected.
We're one person.
Yeah.
In
It's a
all
spectrum.
reality. We are one person. This is both ends of the spectrum.
We are
truly
one.
is what it is. 100%. That's why we are the Supercar Connection, the two of us.
We connect
Hell
the
yeah.
ends of the spectrum.
Exactly.
It's beautiful.
And
Even though
it
we
meets in
agree
the
on
middle.
most things with cars, surprisingly.
Yes, 100%.
Yes, but you see different angles.
Yeah, yeah. 100%.
You see different pieces of the same thing.
So when we like something, you should all just trust that it's actually the
correct.
best.
I mean, I don't know who else to listen to out here. Okay.
I think sometimes we can get a little biased depending on what it is. I will.
You guys
admit
get a
that
little
openly.
excited sometimes.
We do.
For sure.
Like,
You know?
why
It's
do
easy to get excited.
Can you blame us?
Remember, I fetishize these things.
You're a sick puppy.
You have to understand
what can
too,
we say?
Doctor. It's the fact that we started this. Like, you got to understand the history of Supercar Connection. That
Yeah, talk to me through that.
It tailors into exactly why we are the way we are. So dating back now, we're going to date ourselves a little bit here. It's been some time now since this lower, but we played college football together.
Oh,
I was an offensive lineman. He was a running back.
hell yeah.
So we've been like this for a tremendous amount of time. And then on top of
You've
that,
been boys for a long time.
a long time. And it was funny too.
More than a decade?
A decade.
About a decade.
A decade.
About a decade?
Just a crisp decade. Yep. Actually, a crisp decade now. It's actually kind
a
of
C-note. Clean
Right,
C-note.
right.
Yep, 100%. So what happened was, it was funny too, when he actually he transferred into the university that I was currently at.
Okay.
A friend was playing where he was at, and he's like, "Oh, you're gonna get there and meet this guy, aka me." He's like, "You guys are not gonna get along at all." And the first thing he does, he walks right up to me, and he says that to me, and I was like, "We're gonna be best friends now." I was like, "You have no choice. We have to be like this."
I could see that happening.
So we've been
Yeah.
locked in for a long time, but every time we were off the field, we would always just gravitate towards each other, and the conversation was just cars.
Go to Roost Chris, talk about Lambos. you know.
Yes, that's it. That was literally
I love it.
our dream night. Was just, let's go have a nice steak somewhere and let's talk Lambos, cars, everything in between. So then finally we transitioned out of the university life and went in our both respective directions in our careers.
Okay.
But we'd always make it a point once a month. He loves to cook. He's actually a master chef. Anybody doesn't know that. Go
Oh,
Chef
yeah.
Gavin on TikTok, everything else between. But
That's old. Nothing's happening there.
Great.
I would go to his house.
Because I'm hungry after this
Oh,
place.
100%. I already know. We're going to have some good food out of this. Don't worry. I'd go to his house and he would cook a fantastic meal and we would do the same exact thing we were doing in college. We were just sitting down and talking. So finally he gets to a point and he's like, "What if we started a podcast?" And I was like, "You want to start a podcast?" I was like,
Well,
the thing
every
that
white
everybody,
male,
yeah, I was-
every white male looks at the
natural.
mirror or looks at his buddy and says, "Dude, maybe we should start a podcast."
we had that literal
All roads lead.
moment.
Right. First, I
It's a
looked at
road.
myself and said, people want to listen to you.
People want to just sit in a room and listen to us
Mhm.
talk about this shit.
Exactly, which they're doing right
Well,
now as
Thank
they're watching
God you
this.
were right, because only like 1% of people are actually right about this. You guys just got lucky about that. So, and I'm thankful for that because it is really great.
Thank you. I
Well, it really
appreciate
is that for the longest time, I've consumed car content my whole life. I love cars. So there wasn't this. I wanted this.
Yeah, I don't think there
and there
was
wasn't.
this.
I wanted this, and there
is
wasn't
not,
this.
Still not.
So
Well, I wouldn't feel comfortable going on some of these other car shows because I'd be fish out of water. They'd get too technical on me. They'd put me in a corner. They'd ask some weird freaking question I don't know the answer to.
Mhm.
Like, I'm not here to be shamed.
100%.
I'm here to have fun.
Right.
We want to take everything that you love about cars and supercars and shine light on that.
Yes.
Not
our hands are
everything
soft too.
else. Exactly.
Yeah.
You see
I
these
love
things?
it. You guys look like you moisturize.
That's it. 100%. 100%. I might not do it myself, but I got someone that makes sure I'm getting it done.
I love it. I love that. That's luxury.
We can turn a wrench sometimes.
But because of that, it just allows us to be in a certain place within the marketplace that just there's a need for it. And then on top of that, a lot of podcasts don't have the duality that we have.
Yeah.
Two double-headed hosts. There's a couple shows that have that, but at the same time, sometimes you get two people that are too similar or too drastically different. And you either see too much of the same thing, you see too much of the different
That's a good
perspectives.
point.
But both of us are perfectly different with the same ideology that all correlates back together.
Right.
And it's why it works. And it works well.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
So that adds
Yeah.
to it as top of that. So you have something that's not in the marketplace currently that we are putting a direct syringe into. And then on top of that,
Yes.
you have a new dynamic between the two of us. Exactly.
Juicing up.
It's everything.
Yeah.
Right.
It's everything you could have wanted.
Well, I appreciate it. We didn't come in here to just talk about us though.
It's true.
Okay.
We
Well,
came in here talking
Unless
about
there
you.
was something else you wanted to say.
shut the fuck up. Dude, shut the fuck up.
Feel free to continue to pump me up.
Listen, okay. No, it's that's why I like it because it's just a more honest look, I think, on what's going on and why you buy a car. The thing is like at some point as a kid, you stop getting trophies. At some point, nobody's fucking paying attention to you anymore, and so you have to give yourself a trophy. And what trophy is that? It's a goddamn supercar.
Yes.
Okay?
Hell yeah.
It's
it
a
is.
trophy you give yourself to remind yourself that you're still working hard and you're still doing a good job. And I don't believe you're out here, in some of the, you're not out here in the street just saying, look at me, I'm better than everyone. I think that's bullshit. I think you're saying, look how fucking hard I worked for this goddamn thing. And that's something to be proud of.
100%.
Amen.
That's actually the most beautiful way to say it. It's a real way to say it, to be honest with you. That's exactly how I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time I drive my thing, I can't.
Yeah.
Let me put it this way. If we went out in the street and we brought a microphone and we saw a little kid walking with their parents, we're like, hey, Timmy, do you want to drive a Toyota or a Ferrari when you grow up? What the hell do you think little Timmy's going to say?
Depends on how much he cares about reliability.
Listen, just don't put words in this kid's mouth, okay? I know this kid. He's going to say a Ferrari.
Absolutely.
And then you
Yes.
go down and you go to the next block. Hey, little Johnny, would you rather have a Toyota or a Ferrari? A Ferrari. Do you think little Tony or Tommy, whatever his name is buying a Ferrari so he could flex on people
Hell
and
no.
show how much money
Hell
he
no.
has? No, it's just genuinely cooler.
Mhm.
100%.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Now, I think there's other dynamics to supercars that I think are not unspoken still. And I think
Let's talk about them.
now that's the whole thing. So I think to people who have loved cars and have seen it as exactly what you say it is, that trophy that you give yourself as you get older, and at the same time you put a certain amount of work into your life. Simultaneously speaking, people that aren't into cars, what they utilize is a tool. And it could be a tool in a vast variety of ways. From a marketing perspective, a networking perspective, which sounds like the same thing, but they're not simultaneously. But I think that has become the new norm with the supercar.
see.
It's the reason like the Huracans have become so common. They're reliable. They built a lot of them, but it's the easy obtainable supercar that allows somebody that would not necessarily be in the room with everybody else. It allows them entry. It is new. The Huracan has become the new blackface sub. Am I
Except
wrong?
you don't have to get on a list to buy one.
Exactly.
Well, okay, so my culture,
That was the
right?
best
My
one.
culture, obviously not LA, New York, right? So the blackface sub is the gold standard of success
100%.
on Wall Street. It's because it's a form of tastefulness that hurt enough to buy, but isn't so off the wall where you look like a fucking clown.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
it's the ante up into the big boys club. And you got to ante up at some point,
You have
gentlemen.
to. Because then what are you playing the game for? Why are we at the table? To not double down? Am I not going to ante up? Am I not going to take a little bit of a risk here?
I'm still at the $5 table.
No, you're not.
I'm
know
at
you're
50.
not.
I'm at the $15
No,
table.
You know you guys are
I've-
busting your.
I've elevated up to the
Please.
$15 table.
Here's the deal, right?
I'm
I've
doubling down.
played with this idea throughout my life. I've had the good fortune of having a lot of money, having no money, and having a lot of money again. Okay, I've had that fortune because you only know how good you have it if you've had it real fucking bad, real bad.
Brings value.
And
to
a
everything.
lot of my friends growing up, going to college, they never had it really bad. I just took a lot of risk and it didn't work out. And then I had to build up from that moment. So what am I talking about?
Talking about yourself. I think
having money and then not having money and then having
Yeah, but
money.
what am I connecting it to something?
to supercars.
Well,
Doubling down
oh,
at the
okay.
poker table. I sit at the $15 table.
It was supposed to all
No, you
come
guys
together.
are busting your ass.
Okay.
It's still coming together, baby.
I
You're
would
working
have
on it.
drank some of this shit. I don't know what's going on. I'm all twisted out.
It's caffeine.
It's supposed to dial you in.
It's
dialed me out.
dialed moods. It's supposed to dial you.
I just spiraled out, boys.
It's okay.
No, I don't know what I was trying to say.
Supercars, going back to the realm, because I think, well, to be honest with you, you came on this talking a little bit like you needed a therapy session. So it
I
sounds
do
like
need a therapy session.
You're in a decision-making process.
I am.
And we're here to dissect exactly the decision that you should make.
Yes.
And we're going to get it out of you without even knowing we're getting it out of you.
Okay.
You're going to make your own decision. We're going to make it seem like we walked you there.
Okay.
In reality, it's in you already.
I love it.
100%.
So I went from a GT3 RS 991.2 to a 488
Okay.
GTB.
Okay.
A good spec. But not a pista.
What's good?
Not a pasta, baby.
It's not a pista.
What's a good spec?
Grigio Silverstone, black wheels, racing seats, carbon racing seats,
Have to.
black with red stitching.
Okay.
Very tasteful, but and carbon, a shit ton of carbon.
Carbon, of course.
So it was a pretty high spec.
Fat
Of course,
plaque.
of course.
Fat plaque.
it was sweet.
Fantastic.
It was sweet to look at.
That's it?
No.
Because it's only warm for 14 days?
Don't make me do this. Not in front of my family. It's one of those things where that was one of those cars that I thought was going to be different. And I did spend a little time in it and just kind of like had some wishful thinking. Great head turner. But man, nothing depreciates like head turning.
100%.
Because you just don't care anymore. And you're the guy that's got to drive the darn thing. Head turning, man, that's a fucking dime a dozen.
It's an expensive game to
Don't
play.
do it to turn heads.
Nope.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
Expensive game to play.
Yes.
Do it because you love it.
Do it because you love it, because you got to drive the damn thing and you got to pay for it. So yeah, I swapped out of the 488. It became winter in Chicago. I rolled into a G63.
Okay.
So I'm in the G63 right now. But, you know, the whole deal is you're never done. And you're always thinking.
Never.
Yeah.
And I spent some time with a 720S in Miami, and I just go, oh, this is like a Porsche in terms of accuracy, but way more fun and cool.
It gives you what you want.
It gives you what you want.
It gives you exactly what you want.
A McLaren knows where you're going before you do. It's like Gretzky skates to where the puck's going to go. When you're in a McLaren, you're going where the puck is going to go. Okay,
You wear that car.
Hell
as
yeah.
Joe
You wear that
likes to
car.
say. It's a suit.
Yeah, I've never felt so safe doing risky things
Mm-hmm.
in my entire life than in McLaren. Read that however you guys want. Okay.
It's a certified piss missile. I'm telling you. Certified. It's my favorite thing on the planet.
You can just do this and you're there. Like you could, you
easily.
could tap it.
You're further than there.
You're further than there.
Yes.
You're like, yeah, you're like grazing the side of the Walmart.
Mhm.
And you got Miami experience with 720.
I tore this
Peak.
up
Peak.
Up.
Are you kidding me? Causeway driving, 10 p.m., 720 Spider.
in the Spider.
I-
down. More carbon. It was a
Nicholas,
450.
you have no idea.
Dude, it was a $450,000 spec. Okay, so I rented. Go on Turo. You'll be shocked what you find. I rented this
You
guy.
rented it on Turo?
I rented it on Turo for $1,000. The guy's like, yeah, I have too many cars. I'm like, your loss is my gain.
Please give me.
Please give me. I treat very good.
Turo's wild.
I don't know. I'm doing like a Mr. Miyagi voice, but it's
It felt right.
It felt right. The whole deal is like this was way too nice of a car to be on Turo.
100%.
Yeah.
Luckily, he gave it to Nick Crown, so I treated it
Yeah.
the right way.
And it wasn't busted up or anything either. It was.
Dude,
it was nice.
It was. I made an offer on the car.
Wow.
Yeah. I was like, "Can I buy this?" He's like, "Yeah, I think, yeah, maybe." And then there was a few little squirrely things about it. I was like,
Right. Yeah, 100%.
We like
it
we like
changed a little bit.
warranty.
Yeah. It was a
changed
720
little
on Turo at the end of the day.
Yeah,
Probably like an 18, 19,
I
I'm
was
thinking
gonna
maybe.
use yes, yeah. It was. It is what it is. You know, you got to know
Yeah.
where you are.
Yes.
Don't fall in love. You know what I mean? In the wrong
100%.
place.
Miami's a 3-day town.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
forget that.
It's
Don't forget that. 3-day town. Don't forget that.
Don't forget that.
Do not forget.
Don't fall in love in Miami.
Do
Wait,
not.
so Miami Causeway driving like that style or canyons up here? Well,
So I don't have a lot. Guys, LA is one of these towns. I'm sitting in my hotel room today. I'm FaceTiming with a friend. I'm like, I know so much about a lot of places. I know so little about LA. And every time I come to LA, it's kind of for something like this. I jump in, I do something like this, and then it's like all of a sudden I'm on the flight back. And I'm like, what happened? I went from like a hotel room to an air-conditioned car to a studio to an air-conditioned car. You know, it's like a
to Sugarfish,
to
back to an air
Sugarfish.
conditioned car.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
LA has a
Predictable.
vast amount of things to experience too.
I just don't have any. I don't have a Sherpa
All
to
right.
take me through and to show me the wild.
We will be.
The
Think
wild
you
west.
found?
I promise
Think you found the Sherpa?
Yes,
I love it.
100%.
Well,
You're gonna have to come back
You better
longer.
fucking take
though.
me out to dinner, guys, because I had the shittiest lunch.
Where'd you go?
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, all right. You
I
brought
ordered,
it up.
I ordered half a chicken, and they gave me a quarter chicken. I wanted a 4-piece chicken situation, and I got a 2.
Where are you ordering half a chicken?
That's what I'm trying to pick out. Where?
Oh, I know where to get a bird in any town. Okay.
That's the best way I've ever heard that described.
Okay.
Okay.
I can find a roast chicken from
For some reason, I believe you.
But from sea to shining sea.
Mhm.
Okay.
You hit your macros at least though.
Oh, it's a delicious and healthy way to get ready for a
So
high
you
performance podcast episode.
you ordered El Pollo Loco.
I ordered. I don't even want to say the name of the business because it doesn't even deserve to be mentioned.
Don't mention it.
It was
He
a
said he said healthy. I'm trying to pick. No,
It
I'm
was
not saying the
healthy.
El Poco
Yeah, it
is
was
not.
healthy.
I'm trying to, because I had another suggestion, but I go, then that's not healthy. So I'm trying to pick out what it was.
You don't even know what it is. Why would you know if you have taste and preferences?
Was it Kismet Rotisserie?
Nope.
Damn. That was my deep LA guess. That was my like trenches guess.
No.
Okay. No, it's fine. Then.
California Chicken Cafe.
No.
Joe's like, it's California Chicken Cafe.
I was
again?"
like, I don't know what that. I was like, yeah, no, there's
Well,
no fucking way.
I'm sorry you had such a bad lunch experience.
We'll
It's
make it
fine.
up
We're gonna erase that.
We'll do some supercar driving and we'll go to the next
Yes.
dinner. Yes. You'll hear my car. You see some flames.
wait.
It'll be a good time.
I can't wait.
It'll be a very good time. But I want to touch back to something that you talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Your decision-making process.
Yeah, you got to help me with this.
You dabbled on Aventador 765 and then you dabbled on Dakar Sterrato. Where do we sit? Where do we sit in this realm?
This is going to sound terrible. I moved on from the Sterrato because I don't want to be able to use it all the time.
I get it.
What the hell am I saying? Doesn't make any sense.
No. That makes
Wait.
complete sense.
I can use this a lot and it's more convenient. Not a supercar.
I'll
gentlemen.
pass.
Yeah,
I'll pass. Trust
thanks
me.
thanks for your help, Lamborghini, by making a car I can finally drive all year round in Chicago. I don't want it. Give me something I can't drive. That's what I want.
You know why you pass on it? Because you know with that experience, with that ability, it limits the capacity for other things.
You get
Sure.
bored.
Very bored.
That's what I was worried about because then it just becomes very quickly your daily.
Yeah. And then again, here on Supercar Connection, we don't make bad financial decisions. So next thing you know, you're driving all the time. There's so many miles on it. You're depreciating it. Next thing you know, you go,
What the hell did I just do?
what did I do? You might have had a little bit of fun.
It's my weakness.
Did I really have that much fun?
It's your weakness.
That's definitely my weakness.
So this is my thinking, right? So anyway, I'm in the G63 now, and I'm just like, I need a car, not a truck.
Yeah.
Okay, let's be serious, right? There's just nothing that is going to make you feel the way a car makes you feel. Truck's a different experience. Okay, so I'm running the calculations, the algorithm in my brain. I'm like, well, Sterrato's out. So anything rugged like that is going to be out. And then I just said, I had so much fun in the 720S. 720S is pretty attainable, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, well, if it's too attainable, what are you doing? Like, make it hard.
yes.
Make it hard. So the
Nothing
way
but
that
the best for Dr. Crown.
nothing but the best. But I don't want to, if you can have it, why would you want it?
Exactly. There's
It's
no
like-
value in that.
Yeah. It's like
I
if
agree.
you dangle a string in front of a cat and it's like, meow, 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 try to get, and you give it the string, it's like, whatever, just
Fuck
walks
this.
away.
Exactly.
That's me when it comes to supercars.
I understand.
So I go, 720S. What's 720S on steroids? The 765 LT.
100%.
Okay. Lower, more carbon. There's
Stiffer suspension.
More limited.
stiffer suspension,
More beautiful.
more bananas,
More everything.
more everything. And then I said, well, now that we're at that price point, you can start to cross shop an Aventador S, which I think is the best looking because it's an understated. The first gen Aventador has a lot of plastic that I don't like.
I agree.
And then the S is kind of like, it's so clean. And they're just, I don't think they're very much loved in the market. You can get them for.
Now, we can deep dive into this, which we're going to, because I want him to be able to dabble in this because he's going to give you a lot of insights that I won't be able to.
Okay.
But I'm going to ask you a question. Based on this one question, there's a short-term answer to this.
Okay.
Are you going to modify the car?
No.
765 LT.
Yeah.
100%.
That's interesting.
100%. Because now the Aventador S has a secret that not a lot of people have talked about, and it needs more light to this.
Okay.
The Aventador S, well, SVS or base Aventador, they all have the same thing, but I use S because it's what I like. It has the potential to be the loudest out of all of them. What people don't realize is the SVJ has that higher pitch. You put a titanium exhaust, it has that really high squealy pitch that everyone is like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing.
Right.
But it's not the loudest. It doesn't have the capability to be the loudest.
We're splitting hairs here, if
Exactly.
we're being honest.
But again, in the Aventador world, what else is there to highlight besides the sound? What are we highlighting? We're not highlighting the clutch. We're not highlighting the driving. We're highlighting the sound. So if we're going to go there, I like loud.
I think you might be right.
So here's the reasoning, and I'll give everybody the technical to the bullshit that I'm speaking here. Because if I'm going to bullshit, I'm going to at least
You're
get
gonna
to
back
my
it up.
point.
Cite your
100%.
sources. Yeah.
Yes. So
In the Gintani Almanac,
the book of Gintani,
page 36, chapter.
Chapter 4, verse 34.
Yes.
the SVJ's tailpipe split. So whenever you have exhaust notes, when they split, when they don't converge to the center point, they actually dilute the sound. So with the SV, the S, and the bass, them having the center exit at the bottom that all converges into one point, you can get creative with the exhaust. And when they all converge, it actually is way louder when it exits rather than split.
Just boom.
Just kaboom. So
I don't know if we say
that,
way louder.
It's, I mean, granted, obviously, I get you. 100%.
He just has an S, so he wants you to make sure that
Bro,
you know that
this
his
is
louder.
this
Oh,
is
so
a point.
you have an S.
That's an S downstairs.
Oh.
That's
I wasn't pumping you. I didn't know that was an S.
That's an S with a body kit. So
because it looked modded, and I don't know what happened.
That is modded to the T. That's why I ask you, if you're gonna mod the car, I would get that. I would get an Aventador S because it's the modding capabilities. And granted, it's not cheap modifications, but if you're going down that road, it'll be a more rewarding experience when you get down that road.
If you're not gonna put an exhaust on the car,
not worth it.
Do not get an Aventador.
Really?
Nicholas, I promise you. Yes.
Is it really like that?
It's really like that.
Because here's the other problem too. Now, you're gonna leave here experiencing my car. That's gonna be another problem. Because when you go to a stock one, I promise you, it's gonna be the biggest disappointment on planet Earth.
Yeah.
Yes. 100%.
Because the visceral, you're feeling it in your butt dyno, as they say. Right? You're feeling it underneath here in the
everywhere
buttocks.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere. But that's
it's just so loud. I mean, so a stock Aventador compared to a stock 765, the Aventador is going to sound better than that, stock for stock. But once you get into the world of modified Aventadors, a stock Aventador just feels so
it's laughable.
Weak.
Once you've done the hard stuff.
It's laughable.
Literally.
I promise you it's laughable. But then, because then now
Aventador just becomes caffeine.
Right.
Like, oh, great.
100%. But then the 765, now that's the thing though. The Aventador, it does one thing well. It does sound well. Sound and presence.
Sound, presence, and straight line.
Half-ass.
It'll handle it pretty well.
It handles decently. But then again, what are we comparing it to? Everything's relative. So we're going to compare it to somebody so we can understand exactly what we're doing here.
Yeah.
The 765 is the most dialed in McLaren weapon besides when you get into hypercar territory.
Right.
That car is ridiculous in every other metric that the Aventador is lowlish in.
Yeah.
Okay. Driver's car, and he can attest this deeper. Driver's car, 765 is just it's laughable. The experience different.
Yeah.
Laughable.
They really are opposite cars. Like
They
have
have nothing to do with each other.
You couldn't have picked two more opposite cars.
But here's the thing. It's for my journey, I prefer more of a race-tuned car. So I prefer one that's low. I prefer having a lighter weight stance. I prefer
stiff.
I don't, when I'm in a touring format car, I always go, what the heck?
What am I doing? I'm comfortable.
I'm comfortable.
Why am I comfortable?
This is like
a supercar.
Yeah. Like I can't feel every pebble
100%
on Michigan Ave.
Yeah.
You know? So that we just answered the question, unfortunately.
See, that's why I knew if I asked you that one question, we'd get to the answer.
Uh-huh.
But there's a multitude of things that you have to consider too. Because now this is the second point that I know you want to talk about. Holding its value. This is a really difficult question because now we're getting into the current conditions of the market. Okay. Tariffs imposed, how that's going to play into the marketplace. But simultaneously speaking, the Aventadors don't have a great look right now on the secondary market.
Okay.
They don't. All of them.
They're starting to soften.
Not even just price point. What it is the mileage blocker stipulation on those cars. So those cars right now, it's mainly against the SVJ, but we're going to spread it across.
Can you explain that to me?
You want to explain it?
Mileage blocker.
Why do you want me to explain it?
I don't know. I like when you explain shit. I don't know. It turns me on. I don't know. What do you want me to say?
Do you want me to explain?
Yeah, explain it. Yeah. You're the better explainer.
Okay. I mean, you may know more about this topic, but do you know what a mileage blocker is? They just you plug it into the car. You can either roll back the miles or you plug it in like the OBD. You're basically tuning the car to block the miles or just pause the miles.
Correct.
That's bullshit.
So then you've got a car with 30,000 miles on it, but it's showing
there's phony
13,000 miles.
There's Fugazi Aventadors out there.
There's more than just Fugazi. Most of them are Fugazi Aventadors.
Because it's so easy to crank the clock back.
That's the problem. So because this is the biggest thing too. Okay, so Aventadors came out from 2014 to 2020-ish, there's not a lot of cars that were like it. Like when you really modified, you open the sound up, they were like, especially when the SVJ came out, they're like, dude, what? This is it.
It's the most of the most.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now they hit the secondary market and you're seeing a 2018 S with 4,000 miles. You're like, who owned this car and didn't drive this car? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
It's good.
And then you look at it and you go, okay, I'm getting a mint deal. But then you really look into it deeper and you realize that any rational human being that bought this car and spent this money on this car drove the living shit out of it, because when they got an exhaust on it and they really drove it, realized it was the greatest driving experience on planet Earth. But now you have 4,000 miles after 7 years of ownership.
Well, that guy might have had a 15-car garage.
Exactly. Even those guys probably drove that more often than you would think. But just the general stipulation of them have mileage blockers.
Okay.
So now when you go out and buy one,
Well, that just freaks me out.
it scares the shit out of somebody, especially you have an out of warranty car, okay, that has outdated technology mechanically, that is just becoming a troublesome car. On top of it, you have no idea you're really buying a 20,000 mile one, a 50,000 mile one, a 5,000 mile one. So as somebody that looks at things from a risk mitigation standpoint, am I really mitigating my risk well in this car? No.
No, because there's a big unknown.
Exactly.
And it's the unknown.
It is.
So do Aventadors wear those miles well? Because Ferraris don't wear miles well.
They don't.
You know a 20,000 mile Ferrari from a 4,000. You
can smell it.
You know,
all I need is just a tip.
One of these.
That's it.
You just you can tell.
Just give the dash a little caress.
Well, you know where I look.
Yeah.
I look at the side bolsters.
I knew you said.
I'm a bolster.
Don't look at my side.
Well, you know what happens?
I knew you were gonna say. Don't look at my.
You know
side
the problem with the
bolsters?
bolsters? Everyone when they get out of these cars, they grab the bolster.
Well,
like
if you're a heathen,
right?
I don't even let people get out of my cars. I just go, just sit there.
I'll come get you.
I'll come get you.
Don't worry.
You can't get out of it.
No.
Just sit. You're just gonna wait.
Let me
I'll
grab
be
this
over there
bolster.
eventually.
Let me push off this bolster.
Imagine if you're a larger heathen too, getting out
Forget
of it.
about it.
Don't look at my side bolsters.
Yeah.
Don't look at my side bolsters.
There's some creases.
There's some
There's
creases.
a few
there.
creases.
You're
in
buying a
there.
used Aventador from a guy that was 6'4".
It's not the move.
His side bolster's cooked.
The first, I mean, the side bolster it's like rings on a tree, right?
Yes.
It's like, I can tell everything from your side bolsters. Like, I know who you are, what you did, what you eat.
Yeah.
I know how you hang out, how you party, where you go.
Everything.
Every single. The side bolsters don't lie.
You don't even need
they
a
don't.
test kit.
No, you don't need a
no
test
eyeball
kit.
no
it.
PPI. Just give me a pic of the side bolster. I'm
give me a
good.
pic
A
of the
pic
side
and a
bolster.
video, a side sweep. I want to see the bolster, right here, and I want to see the lower bolster. And I'll tell you if I'm going to buy the car or not.
Yeah.
Just from that. It's funny that probably is. I like to look for these singular tells sometimes in business or whatever. I think that's one of those singular tells in supercars.
I think so too.
Because the side bolster suggests that you're getting in and out of the car properly. Also, how many times you're getting in and out of the car.
How often?
Tremendously.
And the thing, just the magic of leather, and they can't ever seem to fix it perfect. Like, it is what it is.
It's impossible.
Unless you replace it, and you're not going to replace it. So,
It's
the
just
biggest
not
problem
the move.
is when you're doing that too, hand oils.
Yes.
It's the same thing that fucks up your steering wheel.
Yes. Okay. This is crazy. So when my 488 got delivered, I bought it from Ferrari on the West Coast. Okay. I bought it from Ron Tonkin in Oregon. Right.
Okay.
So they shipped it out. I sent my GT3 RS to them. So we did a switcheroo. When they dropped the car, I don't know what happened, but someone did a buckle rash on the leather on the wheel. That was not in the inspection. I was just like, I called the guy. I go, dude, someone, AP'd the side of my, steering wheel in the leather.
It was probably Timex, but
Whatever it was not good.
sorry.
It was
I
not
respect all
It
professionals.
was not good. So I go, look, I can't, this is bad. You know what I mean? So I call a few people. I end up connecting with this dude at Porsche downtown. He's like, I got a leather guy. He does all the wheels. You'll never notice it. So, I'm like, all right, well, I don't know who else to ask. So I'm just going to go with this, call this guy up. This old school Chicago guy. He's like, how you doing there, boss? Okay, let's take a look here. Oh, shit. Yep. Someone hit it with a buckle. I do this all day. Just sit down, pal. Maybe you'll learn. He goes, maybe you'll learn a thing or two. Right? So he sits down in the car and he just starts like working the leather. Like he's doing his thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
He's got a fetish.
Yeah. He's kind of like
These guys are going to scam
filing-
me out of my money right now.
He's filing it, but also kind of like using this cloth and blah, blah, blah. And then he busts out like basically a spray gun.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, leather isn't leather on top. It's paint.
Yeah.
Who the hell knew that?
Wild, huh?
Besides you, Kevin. You fucking knew that already.
Hey, I know everything. That's the
Now get
you'll
this.
learn that eventually.
Now get this. You'll probably already know this too. All right, Kevin, and you won't even be excited about it. But if you repaint one panel on a steering wheel, it's not shiny anymore because it doesn't have any oil from your hand. It's new, and new Ferrari leather is actually matte. So I get back in the car. This guy leaves. He's like, okay, it's good to go. I go, what the? It looks like it's sticking out. He's like, well, it's because it's new. And I'm like, this is worse than before.
Spray the whole wheel.
Just spray the whole car. Just take it away. I can't do this anymore.
I can't do this shit.
Yeah. Yeah. So eventually it was like I almost like was favoring that part of the wheel.
Yeah, you got to wear
just
it
to
back
get
in.
the oil back on.
Right.
And then it started to even out. And then the wheel was perfect again.
Yeah.
But it was like I went through some shit, guys.
I
real.
can imagine.
You
Some
had
trauma.
you had
Yeah.
months of OCD tics while you were driving your car.
I know every scratch on every car I've ever had. I could rattle them off right now. I probably shouldn't.
Don't.
I don't even know where to begin.
Don't.
Should we start with the
Don't.
3RS?
That's not good television.
No, absolutely not. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's not good resale value either.
Yeah.
Don't
No,
worry. Don't
no,
worry.
no.
No, I want to hear every nook and cranny of the 3RS.
It came out a little weird, Gavin. That sounded a little weird. Yeah, well, I don't know. I'm obsessive about that stuff, about maintenance.
Which is good. It tells
Mhm.
a lot about you. It
Yeah.
says a lot about you just right off the bat.
So if you
I
ever
think
have a
so.
car that
Yeah.
you're getting rid of that I want, you're
Just
a good
text me.
person to buy it from.
Oh, dude.
I know it's taken care
I
of.
am like.
It'll be
the
better than when
most-
you bought it.
Oh, I'm like a freak when it comes to this stuff, right? Like I actually do a quick educational run through for anyone that's getting in and out of the car. I'm just like, hey, hey, we're friends, right? Okay, well, you're getting in and out of the car wrong. Like, so we're gonna talk about this, right? Like, hey, you're supposed to swing your legs over, and then you're gonna use the side rail, and then you're gonna press up like a squat, and then you're gonna stand up, and you're gonna step away clean from the vehicle.
You know what? Why don't we just take the G-Wagon?
That's what, but even the G-Wagon, you can't just slide out of it. That you're gonna toast the side bolster
Mm-hmm.
because the G-Wagon has kind of like a comfort bucket almost.
It does. Do you have the one that it turns with you when you turn the steering wheel?
Of course I do.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bolster squeezes
The
you on the
bolster squeezes you a
side.
little
Bolster squeezes you, gives you that little love tap.
You got to
Yeah.
preserve those things.
It's like a warm hug,
It's a warm
especially when
hug.
your warm stone massage is on
Yes.
and it squeezes you.
I turned that on the other day and it was getting hot. I'm like, what the? Like I haven't used it before. I was like, this is like way too hot. And so you know how the technology is.
We could sit on the G63 for a minute because you're talking about a marvel of a car. That's to this day one of my favorite cars.
It has something about the modulation and the steering. What do you think about that? Does your G? It's not a one finger driver. Your G, you got to hang on to the goddamn wheel.
It flows. It's like water. It flows.
Sometimes it flows where you don't want to go.
100%. That's
Yeah.
why it's just a unique driving experience completely. Because it's like the way that I see it is it offers a different perspective on driving. Because it's like it's luxury to a certain degree. It's not Rolls Royce, but it's luxury. You look around. I'm definitely
Yes.
Mercedes. I got ambient lighting. I got some carbon fiber. I got some nice lights. We're good.
Mhm. Got
Then-
the manufacturer package, hopefully.
100%.
Yeah.
Manufacturer package?
Dude, come on, please.
It's fully spec'd out. Come on.
That's
Diamond
not-
stitching.
that's not
diamond
even
stitching,
fucking-
come on.
I don't
Don't
hear,
even-
I don't hear confirmation here.
The answer is yes.
Okay, thank you.
I'll share the build sheet if you'd like.
Click the link in the bio. It's in the
Link in the bio to
description.
see Nick Crown's build sheet. You guys are sick.
$2.99 a month.
Yeah, that's on the premium subscription. That's the. I'm not going to say the word. We'll get flagged.
I'll say it, so don't worry. It's $9.99 for OnlyFans. Link.
Yeah,
But anyways.
exactly. Yeah.
Then you go to the ride height, which is my favorite part. Because that part, in like the luxurious interior, okay, there's certain aspect to it. It's fine. It's cool. I like it. Blah, blah, blah. No. The ride height plus the performance and what you feel in your ass dyno,
Mm-hmm.
it's just you don't get that combination.
Mm-hmm.
You feel like you're almost not. I don't want to say you're driving a sports car because I think that's a stretch, but it's not a Jeep.
No.
Even though we're at
And
the
it
ride
moves.
height of that,
And it's not a Land Rover.
It's
not
not.
a Defender.
not at
No.
all.
Yeah.
Because it also doesn't feel as heavy as those cars.
It might have
do.
used to been. but not anymore.
It was like, might have used to been.
Where's he going with
Might have
this?
used to have been a Lambo.
It might have used to been.
Yes,
Might have used
That's
to.
just, dude, I don't know. There's something in this thing.
it's fantastic.
This thing?
This is soda.
Oh yeah,
Soda's
dialed
busting
soda.
me up.
That car just completes something that no other car does. Ride height, interior luxury, performance, and the feel.
Yeah.
You don't get that from an SUV.
It definitely
and
has
supercar.
character.
It has this unique character.
But you have to want it because a lot of people get into an SUV, they get into a truck, and they don't want to think.
100%.
You have to think in this freaking thing.
You do.
Also, the turning radius leaves a little bit to be desired, gentlemen.
Just a little bit.
Good luck. Good luck doing a U-turn pretty much anywhere but Giant Stadium. Like, you need like shit tons of room.
Unless you got the electric one,
Unless you got the electric one.
then you don't need any room.
Which is
The
ridiculous.
G, what do they call it? The G-turn?
Yeah,
Something
the
like
tank
that.
turn, the tank turn,
G
the
turn.
tank turn, or the Panzer Shrek turn, or whatever we're gonna, whatever
Yeah.
we're gonna use.
Pretty lame.
I don't know about that thing. What do you think? The electric one?
I'm pretty bearish on all electric cars. So
Yeah.
On all of them?
pretty much. And I'm sorry, you were looking at me like you wanted more.
I was just kind of hoping you were going to say some more cool
Well,
stuff.
they all just tank in value. So, and plus, I mean, it's like at the end of the day, you take off in an electric car, it's fun. Hey, that was cool. It's kind of like the beginning of a roller coaster.
Right. And
But
you
then
look
that's
over and
it.
you see your girlfriend in the car with somebody else next to you.
Then that's it. There's no heart.
You're
There's
like,
no
wait.
soul.
Wait, that's my girlfriend over there. Why is she with that guy in an Aventador? Oh my God.
Why is it spitting flames?
This is terrible.
So, I
I
mean, the
knew
value
I
thing is
shouldn't have bought
the
an
value thing is the
electric
biggest
car.
one. The G580 is going to be the hardest depreciating G-Wagon.
You think?
Yeah.
Oh, G-Wagon, of course.
Yes.
Has to be.
Has to
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never owned an electric car. You know?
I don't
Don't.
either.
be. Now,
You have.
I have, but do I think there's going to be a curve at some point? Absolutely. And let me hear me out. Electric cars offer the best turn your brain off experience.
Mm.
Some people love that. The majority of people love that. Not everyone's obsessive like we are about these things. Some people just like their car to get them from point A to point B. Will I ever understand that shit? Never in my life. You spend 1/3 of your life in a car. So for me,
In LA.
in LA.
Brackets.
Yes,
in LA.
in LA. For my life, I'm talking my
You're in a
experience right
walkable
now.
city, so
Yeah, that's very
Yeah,
true.
yeah,
Yeah, we are.
If
not
you
a
walk
walkable
down the
city.
street in LA, people are like, he's a vagrant.
Yes,
He's a
literally.
I walked down the street today, and then people looked at me. I was like, I'm going back inside.
yeah.
I'm not walking around here.
I hope you put your watch in your pocket when you walk down the street.
I came out in like workout clothes, walked down the street, and people were like, who's that freak? I'm like,
Why
oh,
does he look
yeah.
happy to be walking around?
Yeah. I'm like, I was just like in a crack in an alleyway letting the sun hit my face. And I'm like, oh, I look crazy in LA. This is bad. I'm going to go back into my dark hotel room
Yeah.
where I belong. Okay. Sorry.
Then
Order some chicken.
yes,
And order some
Order
chicken and
shit
get it shorted half the bird.
Those cars, what's going to happen is when they achieve like 500-600 mile tank in it, whatever you want to call it, battery life, whatever,
Yeah. Range is what they're calling
range, yeah,
Yeah.
it's going to shift.
Thanks, Nick.
Because
You're welcome.
now, granted, this is going to be depending on where you live and everything like that. But if you have a home charging situation where you can drive in your garage and plug in,
Yeah.
and you get 500-600 mile range,
Right.
and the rest of the package of easiness could drive itself, it's hard to beat that as a daily.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just being real. It's very hard to beat that. Or even like for like your wife's car, like it's very hard. She doesn't have to go to the gas station. She gets home, she plugs it in. It's easy. She doesn't have to think a lot. She loses her keys. No, the phone is the key. You're fine on a lot of bases. And I hate that. I'm being real because eventually it's going to happen. And more people are going to have them and want them because you're like, I don't have to ever go to the
Sprinkling a
gas
little
station.
misogyny here. It is.
Exactly. The luxury part will kick up a little bit. They'll figure it out a little bit. And then that'll eventually happen.
Let's face it. It's not just women buying electric cars, guys. Okay. I hate to break it to you. Okay.
It's the only way I could justify it.
I got a
in my head.
freaking ride from the airport. Okay. From it was a Tesla Model Y, which by the way, that's not a black car. What the heck is going on?
Thank
I don't know.
you. Thank you. That's bullshit. When
Was
I
it
say
at
that-
least black?
It was black, but it's not a black car.
Right.
'Cause
At
a black
least
car,
an EQE if I'm going to do this. At least.
don't put me in a Tesla Model Y.
Right.
I'm trying to hang out on the Supercar Connection. I'm not trying to come in like soft, you know? I'm trying to,
Understandable.
I'm trying to do my thing.
Hey, Lyft is uber struggling right now.
I don't know what's going on.
Those companies don't make any money on paper.
Yeah.
On paper.
You're at least gonna get
You know more about
an
that than
LS
I would.
hybrid.
Well,
That's
it's got
really
all our data.
that's the baseline black car. Lexus LS hybrid.
LS hybrid. Yeah, I don't even know.
That's the Armenian black. Uber
Okay,
black
wait.
card.
Okay, this is. By the way, how long have we been talking for?
That's a good question. I don't even
An
know.
hour-ish.
Okay, how long is this show?
We have
little
like
more than an hour.
40-ish minutes.
Oh, good. Okay.
Before Aaliyah's gonna kick us
The
out.
second day you're tired of us, just say so.
No.
We'll
I'm
let you
I'm
know.
just warmed up now.
Now we're finally into
Now
like,
we're
the thick
firing,
of it.
guys. Yeah.
Yes.
So you have some people on the show who go, well, but on the track, everything's like, but on the track.
Mm-hmm.
Shut the fuck up.
Right.
What the fuck are you talking
Well,
about?
so to be fair, some of these people are track drivers.
It
They
doesn't
go to
matter.
the track.
Some.
Okay, so
Very
A lot of
few.
people in the comments section are not track drivers.
Right. So I spent a year getting my amateur racing license this year.
Really?
Okay. Took me a year to do it.
That's
That's
sick.
awesome.
Okay.
Congratulations.
So I went down to Birmingham, Alabama. I did the Porsche the driving school, the 3-day deal.
It would be there.
I got the bug. It would be there. I got the bug. My business partner's actually from Birmingham, so that was kind of cool.
Yeah, a lot
We
of
got to hang
NASCAR
out.
fans.
Yeah. But there's a beautiful track. It's Barber. It's absolutely incredible. A bazillion Porsche cars. And anyway, I got the bug for racing.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I did this, by the way, is because I felt like such a fraud owning a GT3 RS and not understanding what it can do. And so that didn't sit right with me
It's fair.
because I'm not going to be out here faking the funk. You know what I'm saying? Like,
We're about it on Supercar Connection. We're
Yeah.
about that shit.
like if I'm owning this thing, I better understand its capabilities. So I took myself to school. I didn't think I would get this into it. So one of the instructors is an absolutely phenomenal race car driver, Pippa Mann. She's one of the few women that runs Indy. She's badass. And we just got along. Super cool. So there's kind of like a dinner, and she was sitting at my table, and we just were like talking about, she was like, you're really getting into it. Like, she's like, really like, I'm like, yeah. And she's
she
like,
could
well,
feel the passion.
she could
behind
feel
it.
the passion. I'm
Yeah.
like, and so she coaches. And I just kept in touch. And she was like, listen, if you're serious, because everyone's so hot in the moment in the
Right.
school.
Mm-hmm.
When you go back home, you go,
That was fun.
I'm not a race car
Yeah.
driver. But I didn't do that. I was like, listen, how do I do this in Chicago? And she's like, well, I'm going to put this like with a grain of salt. There's a private racing club in Chicago, an hour south in Joliet. It's called the Audubon Country Club. She's like, it's really freaking expensive. So like, don't do this. Like you have to go all in basically. Right. So it's more expensive than a fancy golf club basically to join. The dues are expensive. And then I've got to buy a race car eventually. Right. So I'm like, I looked at every other way to do it, to train for a year. It was going to cost more to go to Sebring, to go to this, to go to Homestead. Like I'm going to spend $100,000 no matter what I'm going to do. Right. So I drive down to Audubon in Chicago in my 488 or no, in my I don't remember, one of the cars. And I'm thinking I'm a badass. And a Ford GT pulls up next to me. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm a loser.
New
I'm
one?
a loser.
New one or old one?
Brand new.
Mm.
Like, what the hell?
On
and
the
then
track.
and then a Pagani comes out.
Oh,
I go,
jeez.
whoa, where am I?
Am I in the right place?
Where am I, folks? I'm sorry for being a vagrant here in my little piece of shit car. So I start to get into this little club, and I meet the people, and everyone's super cool, and there's no flexing because everyone's out of their minds in this place. And then they have the hands down best Spec Miata club racing circuit, so series. So there's 14 races. Sometimes there's 30, 40 cars on the field. It's the largest Spec Miata field in the country you're going to find. And I go, oh, fuck. And, Pippa was like, you got to let your ego go because you got to get your ass in a Spec Miata. And I said, all right, yes, ma'am. And so I had a great time at the club, ended up joining the club, and bought a Spec Miata. And so I've been spending a lot of time in a Miata with a cage. But I will tell you this, at no point am I going to be the guy that says, but on the track, guys, but on the track, like, oh, my Aventador can smoke, but on the track, fuck you. It has nothing to do with it.
Tremendously.
Because
expensive.
anyone who spends time on the track doesn't compare track experience with off-track experience. The safest drivers on planet Earth are people that are race car drivers because they've seen people break in half, right?
Yeah.
So they don't fuck around on the road. basically, long
Right.
story short.
They get it out on the track.
They get it out on the track, and then you drive home in
Mindlessly.
just zen.
That's it.
Yeah. The most popular race car driver car, what do you think it is?
Model S Plaid.
Pickup truck.
Really?
Pickup truck.
That makes sense.
You get out of the race car, you get in a pickup truck.
They getting into like a Raptor R or
No.
F-150 Platinum.
F-150.
Feel safe. You're high
King
up,
Ranch.
Easy.
Visibility.
Good. Tripping. Something hits me, I can
Safe.
go over it. I'll knock it
Mhm.
over.
Yeah.
I can understand that. Because
So-
you feel like you're in a cage and anything you hit, you feel it more. You feel the road, everything. I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see the translation.
So why I think everyone should understand what happens on the track, I don't think you can think of the track and the road or cars going between them. It's two worlds. It's like going to Spain and being like, they don't talk English in Spain. Did you know that? Like, they speak Spanish.
Mhm.
It's like, yeah, no shit.
Their
dude.
Mexican food sucks.
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Terrible. They can't make a burger out in Madrid. This is crap, right?
Stupid.
It's like,
How hard is that?
You can't compare it.
Yeah.
So when I look at the cars that I know I'm going to be using to get coffee really fast,
Mm-hmm.
I don't go, sure wonder what this could do on the track. I just don't even do that.
Yeah.
Also, everyone knows that a street car, like even a high spec street car, you take it on the track, you're going to spend 40 grand
Yep.
because
Right.
you're going
You
to
gotta
toast
prep
the
it.
brakes,
You got to prep it.
Mhm.
fluids, brakes, tires. Come on, you're not going to do it. I
Yeah.
don't care how much money you have. You're
You
not
might as
gonna
well
do
just go get a dedicated track car.
it. 100%.
Spec Miata.
Spec Miata.
I understand.
Spec Miata.
So
Oh, yeah.
let me ask you this.
Uh-huh.
The next car you get, are you going to at least track it a couple times now that you're into the world?
So the way that we do it out in Chicago is we don't
That's a
do
fancy
hard.
club.
It's called touring sessions. So everyone brings their supercars on these touring sessions. They're basically low speed. There's a pace car out there. You'll see Ferraris. You see everything right out there, and that's because you're not pushing the car to anywhere near the limit, and you don't come out with wear and tear. Because any car that is legally operable on the road shouldn't really be on the track. Are you okay?
No. You just told me
Yeah.
that people in Chicago take their car to the track to not fucking send it.
Yeah, that's
Not their
kind of
street
what I
cars.
was thinking.
I was like, what the hell's wrong with these
Not
people?
their
if I've got my
street cars.
765 LT, I would not want to be sitting
There's-
behind a pace car
Yeah.
So here's the deal. Not the street cars, dude.
because it's still
They
that
have race cars.
that
No,
still
no, no.
has carbon ceramic brakes,
Yes. The problem with these brakes
Cup 2 tires.
is they're 40, 50 grand to replace. When I say putting the car at the limit, you're doing damage to the car when you're at that limit, right? So
But you don't have to tell anyone.
Yeah.
I'm
100%.
kidding.
so if you're running what is this? You doing side deals over there? So
Always.
it's bullshit. If you're putting your car at the limit, you're asking for something to break. Are you comfortable with that? Is the real question.
Let me ask you this. Okay. Counter
Riddle me
question.
this.
Okay. You're telling me you're going to buy a
Riddle.
765 LT and you're never going to learn and understand its limits?
I wouldn't get my race car and my street car confused.
Takes a lot of discipline.
It does.
I know how I know how much wear like a true hot lap is putting on
For
a
sure.
car. You got to say to yourself, like, is this lap worth 20 grand to me? I
'Cause-
mean, for me personally, the answer is no.
These touring
The answer's
sessions.
no for me too.
These
Okay.
touring
We're
sessions.
in the same.
Good.
touring sessions.
Yeah.
On a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being all out,
To
I'm
6.
pushing as hard as I can. It's a 6.
It's a 6.
So you're kind of going,
You're on a race.
or you're
let me put it this
truly
way.
cruising.
You can't be you can't be your buddy from high school. Hey, take the keys to the Ferrari. He'll crash the car.
Okay,
You
so
still have to be a driver.
you're kind
Got
of
it.
going.
You're
still.
hitting brake point. Everything
Yeah. Okay,
is
We're
there.
apexing turns. the whole
Oh
nine.
yes.
Okay.
Oh yes. It's everything is there. It's just at a lower speed, and it's designed for two reasons: to just get comfortable and have a little fun. So I could take a client out. We could do an event there. Whatever. Right. And it's just fun. More people can participate in this because, like a real track session it's no joke. Like shit happens. Like especially at my club where everyone is a psycho
Mm-hmm.
because my club is so competitive. Like these people
Oh,
are
God.
sick.
I'm having
So,
a terrifying
Makes sense.
revelation
They
right
pulled
now.
it down.
A terrifying revelation.
What is
right
it?
now. I started off being so confused about this idea, the fact that people do this. I was like, I was like, what is wrong with people in Chicago? What is he speaking of? And at the end of it now, I'm like, is that kind of always what I've wanted? Like, is that like
nice.
exactly what I want to do?
A nice cruise in your car, and
Yeah,
then you
take
grab
the
the Spec Miata and you rip it.
Yeah.
Right, because you can rip it, I guess, blindlessly as much as you want in certain parts, but then I don't need to prep it, worry about I'm going to break my car. I'll take a turn light, but when I'll hit the straightaway, I'm going to rip this thing.
Yeah, of course.
That might be everything I've ever wanted.
It is what you want.
Dr. Crown is like, look, you don't understand this because you don't have a race car. Once you have the race car and the supercar, you'll see that you
it's a
don't
different
need
thing.
to track
It's a
the
different
supercar.
thing. Because you can't.
What you need is like a Huracan Evo for the track.
I mean,
The track supercar.
it's a matter of don't get these two worlds crossed because the setup is different, the tires are different, the braking is different, everything is different, fluids. So it's like,
And when I say
To be
Evo, I mean
honest with you-
the track Huracan.
yeah, okay,
Not the actual.
Oh, the Evo.
Not the regular Huracan.
The
Evo,
Super Trofeo.
The Super Trofeo. Sorry.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
I know what you
Huracan
mean.
Super Trofeo.
Now I get it. What you're saying? Yeah.
Sorry.
So at the club, right? So we've got a lot of guys that have the Ferrari Evos.
Mhm.
We've seen some Super
There it is.
Trofeos. We have a huge. There's a lot of Cup guys, Porsche Cup, Sprint.
Figured.
So there's millions and millions of dollars of race cars,
Mhm.
but those guys get into a Range Rover and go home.
Yeah.
Because on the track, right? They're running their race car as a race car, and they have shit tons of money, and they have teams prepping it and making sure it's ready to go. But there's never, and this is one of those rude awakenings for me, the crossover between when you say track days in Vegas with fancy cars and the guys from the office, that ain't what a real track day is, guys. You know, that's entertainment.
Mhm. Track
This
days,
is-
you got a team.
Track days where I'm playing, it's a little bit more deadly than that.
A lot more.
You know, you can't bring Mark from, communications out and be like, hey, Mark, here, put this helmet on, this fireproof suit, and see you at the finish line.
Yeah.
Guess what? Mark ain't making it.
Mark's pissing in that suit.
Mark is urinating in that suit.
While he's upside down on the side of the track.
Pretty much.
I'm telling you, I think that might be the.
Did I
experience
just
always
convince
look
you
for.
guys of something?
Yeah, I think you did.
Okay.
You
How's it feel?
You came into our show
It's good.
and changed my mind on a subject in 5 minutes.
You looked at me like, I thought you were actually like, were rebooting or something.
You completely rebooted me because initially when you were speaking, I was like, "This is the gayest thing I've ever heard in my life."
It's rare.
I was like, the way you're describing, I was like, we take our street cars on the track and we glaze around behind a
Pace car.
and I was like, that is the gayest thing I've ever heard. And then you explained it again and again, and you walked me from me thinking it's gay to it might be the greatest.
It's
thing
hard.
ever.
It's really hard. Yeah. When you know enough to when you own the car and know enough to not use it, that's the gangster thing. Okay.
Here's my only problem with it.
Here we go.
My only problem. And
I knew I couldn't get out.
no, you not 100%. But again, this is everything. Everything's going to have that one little. I'm like,
Right.
I understand what you're saying because again, prepping the car and taking the car to that limit, you're going to beat it up a little bit. It's going to cost you money. But simultaneously, like again, this is me being assuming. So you're going to tell me if I'm right or not.
Okay.
Right?
We know what happens to people who assume.
Your Spec Miata,
Yeah.
in its full blown clappedness, still doesn't compare to the 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10 to a 765 LT.
It's different, right? What do they say? It's more fun to drive a slow car fast than a fast car slow.
Yeah.
They do say that. I've
It's
heard that
real.
before. Yeah.
That's
It's
what
real.
the JDM world is about, really.
It's real, right?
Not
Because a Spec Miata, what 1.8 liter engine, right? At the limit, bro, there's nothing better than that. Like you are in it. You are in it. So for me, it's just the start of my journey in terms of track and
Yeah.
racing. So I ran one race last year.
It's the
I
white
ran
belt car.
the white belt car. But now I'm going to freak you guys out. The best race car drivers prefer to be in a Miata than a Porsche because everyone is created equal in a Miata. It is so nasty. The competition is sick. It's pure skill. Breakpoints, apex, perfection. And then balance because it's still a Miata, guys. So the suspension is a little wonky, right? So they call it momentum, carrying the car through the turn, understanding the limit that little Miata has, right? There's something religious when you see a novice Miata driver and a pro Miata driver, or an amateur, someone who's been driving for 20 years. You go, there's no way this is the same car. Because those guys are flying. We're talking lapping you on a 2-mile track. How is that even possible? The thing has 110 horsepower on a good day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, when the tide goes, what is it? When the tide comes in, we see who's swimming naked. You can hide behind horsepower. You can hide in a Miata.
We're going to Chicago and doing this.
Yeah.
I'm 100%. I'm in. I'm so in. I'm stupid.
Well, it opens next weekend for the season. So,
how would that look like logistics wise if we wanted to do that?
You basically just send me a text.
Fantastic. That's all I needed to know.
Yeah.
Because I'm very much down for that.
And it'd be cool.
Joe from communications.
Yeah. It'd be cool, guys.
What?
You could also, do you know how many fucking psychopaths are at that club that you could bring on the show? Car collectors, pros.
I'll sit down with them.
God. That was good.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, we'll review. We'll review their credentials.
How many Paganis are in the collection? 3? Okay, we'll take that into consideration. We'll see what's up.
We just had a guy with 4.
We'll put you on the wait list.
But that's the beautiful thing about the show. Is just because you might have a hypercar does not mean you're going to sit down with us.
Hell no.
Not at all.
But here's the thing. Just because you have a hypercar doesn't mean you know how to drive.
Doesn't mean you know shit about cars either.
Doesn't mean you... Whatever you said.
It doesn't even mean you love cars.
Doesn't even mean you love cars. Because sometimes we find ourselves doing things just because we thought we were supposed to do them.
Yep. Because society told us, okay, I have the ability to. Why don't I not do it?
Yeah.
I agree with you. Or maybe I looked at it from, again, now we're going back into this the other side of supercars. One thing you said in the very beginning that has stuck with me, and I think you might have DM'd this to us too, but like it was one of the things that him and I really were like, when we started, we were so peculiar about trying to convey this. So when you messaged us, I was like, wow, like we're doing exactly what we set out to do. Showing the other side of the supercar life.
Yes.
The more to it. Because it's not just about, it is about the car, but simultaneously is everything that entails that life. So when you get to a hypercar stage, more times than not, it's not somebody that's worked his way up and he's like, now I finally got a hypercar. It's some exit guy that's like, okay, what can I do to kind of show my status in a way and elevate my power in a certain crowd? I'm just going to go out and buy 10 M's worth of cars. I'll get this, park them. They'll never touch them, garage queens. But now I'm in that club. Now all of a sudden, okay, I'm a hypercar guy. But in reality, you don't have the same fire passion that 90% of us do. And or I guess when we get there, we'd utilize it a little bit differently. They wouldn't just be garage queens. That's my opinion.
Some of them. I'd argue that anyone spending $3 to $4 million on a car probably is only doing it because they love cars. Like there's going to be a handful of people that see these cars as like investments, but it's not. Even those cars that do appreciate are not great investments.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Sure.
Are you guys, do you, Gavin, consider yourself a collector?
No.
Do you, Joe, consider yourself a collector?
Right now, no.
I'd like to be.
Am I headed there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I would like to have a garage of mini cars.
Many cars.
Mini cars.
Not mini cars.
Many. His A's or I's are fucking, they're twisted.
Yeah. I'm from Texas. What can I say? Many cars.
Okay. Many cars, yes. I'm from California, so I speak clear and concise.
Several.
English.
A garage of several cars.
Okay, that's better.
Yes.
I like the longer, more complicated word, if you could use that going forward. That's how
Several?
my brain works.
You're not walking away from what the fuck you just said either. You're not going to escape.
What?
I argue your point hard right now. The whole buying a hypercar because you like cars, you're full of shit.
Okay.
People buy, there's some people that buy hypercars and or expensive cars, and this goes back to being men, okay? Power.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
No,
I spoke
saying,
out of turn.
I'm not saying that you're wrong either.
No.
But there's a couple guys out there, and at least I would think a handful of guys buying hypercars because it's a power thing.
100%.
I'm at the top of my game in every aspect, so I'm going to buy a hypercar because so-and-so doesn't have one, so go fuck yourself. I know you like cars. What do you have, an SVJ? Okay, cool. I'm going to go buy a Chiron.
You got someone like Manny Koshpin who's got these cars and says he loves cars and has a ton of cars and all that stuff, but then also says that he barely drives them because he doesn't really care to really drive them.
And he wears his Hermes gloves when he gets in it.
They're kind of just...
That's just not the way I'm going to roll.
Right.
Exactly.
If I could afford a Chiron Per Sport or a Agera RS, I'd be driving the shit out of it.
Yeah, sure.
Look, to back you up too, PJ, his Chiron is his fuck you. He doesn't like driving it the most. Not the most exciting car. It's not this. But when he wants to go somewhere and tell everybody, fuck you, cheer on. So that's the hypercar thing that when you get to that higher level, it changes.
Because you're saying it becomes a form of leverage over people.
It's power.
Yeah.
Nicholas, you pull up in your 488 and you saw that Pagani. It's not about the fact that the Pagani might be, it's a more crafted masterpiece, but the first thing you think about is the dollar amount correlated to that car. So you look at the guy driving it and you're like, fuck, who the fuck are you? And why do you have that car?
I'm gonna let you, because I'm not gonna expose identities here or anything like that, but there was a weird moment, right? Because I pulled in to the club one day and I saw this Pagani come in, right? It's a guy I haven't met before. It's like a guy I haven't even seen before.
Okay.
So there's a registration before you go into the club, right? So everyone kind of like, yo, what's up, dude? You know, and I'm in a fire suit, and this guy's in like khaki. I'm gonna tell this story completely honestly. He's in jeans and like a t-shirt. I'm in a fucking fire suit, so I'm playing. He's not.
You're ready to go.
I'm ready to go. Well, I'm racing that day.
First day of school, you're fucking best fit on.
No, I'm racing that day, assholes. Yeah, not just wearing a fire suit to look like a fucking.
You put any smudges on it?
I'm in the club. I'm in the club. No, I'm in the club. I'm in the club. Look me up. I'm in the club.
Are you racing today? No. I just wanted to wear a fire suit because it's comfortable.
Sparko shoes laced up tight.
Sparko shoes. Oh, I have Sparko shoes. Yeah.
You think I didn't know you had Sparko shoes?
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I'll take that. That's a backhanded compliment. Yeah. So anyway, I go to the guy. I go, hey, you know, that looks like it's got a few more horsepower than my Miata. And he looks over at me and just goes, yeah. And he doesn't laugh.
There you go.
And he basically just tells me to go fuck myself.
Exactly.
Now, our club is extremely friendly. Everyone is, you know, in it together in this place, right?
Except that guy.
And it was like, oh, you're like this other thing that I don't understand. And it was like, does he not respect me because I didn't come correct as far as he's concerned? It was like, I certainly wasn't making fun of the car.
Right.
I'm in a car club.
Which is weird because that goes against what the really rich persona usually comes across.
It goes
as,
against it 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because in my series, if you watched it long enough, it has nothing to do with money at some point. It has everything to do with how you treat other people. And
it's never been about money.
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so.
Because the rich guy could get to where he's at, but it's his mindset that blocks him from ever achieving that. And it's the way he views other people.
Yes.
That experience you had is exactly what I'm talking about the hypercar realm. Is gentlemen like that. I'm not saying that it's everybody, but it gets
sour in those heights.
Yeah, this is a drastic comparison, but it's like the $50 million yacht. It's the 110 footer. Okay, it's the 110 footer exists because I'm gonna have it parked at the dock while I'm there, so that everybody looks at it and goes, "Who the fuck is here?" Does that make sense? Right. Can you really use every room on there? Are you really utilizing every single aspect of that?
No. Dude, the yacht I saw parked in Venice.
Not at all.
Last year.
Ridiculous,
biggest
right?
yacht I've ever seen in my life.
Again, and all that is it becomes a power trip. So in the yacht world, it's very easy because there's a wider spectrum, but in the car realm, there's certain aspects as the levels go up. Like obviously, you know, Aventador, I feel like I'm up here, I'm doing my thing. But when you get to that top point, guys are in it for power because it's the same
Does
thing.
your yacht have a Wikipedia page? You know what I mean?
Right, exactly. But what you're kind of saying is that at that point, it has nothing to do with cars anymore.
Exactly.
That's why it actually isn't even a car anymore.
Not at all. Especially if it sits in the garage all day.
It's a symbol.
It's a power symbol and a status symbol.
Can I ask you a question real quick?
Sure.
Don't hate me for this.
Fuck.
What does the rich guy drive? And what does the really rich guy drive?
So I don't hate you for this because I actually do tell you through the series. I hint at it.
Really? You hint at it, but you've never done this straight
The valet, he hands the keys.
He hands the keys. So
I'm tapped in, Nicholas, so you know.
I've been seeing these for years. I'm not going to lie to
you.
you.
The rich guy drives a rebadged 5 Series that's up badged to an M5.
That's the rich guy?
The rich guy drives
up-badged
an
M5.
up-badged. Yeah. It's a 5 Series that's been up-badged to an M5.
Which I'll tell you my favorite part about that when you're done.
Yes. Now, for the really rich guy, I've never disclosed what he drives. I've made one skit where I slip and I say something like Rolls or Bentley. This is something slipped.
Yeah.
But I'm purposely not telling you what he drives
Until today on Supercar Connection.
until today on Supercar Connection. The point is that it doesn't matter what the really rich guy drives. It just matters what the rich guy thinks he's doing with his car. That is the only joke is on him. Unfortunately, and I hate to drag BMW into it, but that
We drag them in all the time.
I know.
Yeah, we
I
do.
listened to the episode on the flight too. It's like, woo, woo, pop, 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 pop. You're doing the pop, pop, pop,
Yeah,
pop,
I got a lot of hate for that one.
pop, pop, pop.
A lot of love as well. So it's a mixed bag.
Depends on who you are.
Yeah.
The reason I couldn't help it was there's nothing funnier than up-badging a car that anyone with a nice car doesn't care about.
Mm-hmm.
If that might sound very obnoxious, but I don't mean it that way.
Accurate.
It's like you're playing a game that you are wasting your time playing.
You're shooting yourself
playing
in the
with
foot.
yourself.
You're shooting yourself in the foot.
You're playing with yourself. That's
Yeah.
it.
Right.
Everyone that
That's it.
knows
Right.
what an
There's a word for
M5 is knows that you're faking it.
Right.
And everyone that doesn't know what an M5 is doesn't know
And
the
you
difference
and you
to begin
look
with.
down on people who don't know what an M5 is.
Yep.
So you've basically carved out a perfect mousetrap for yourself. Like you've lost up, you've lost down, and you've lost laterally.
Same thing like their
It
mindset.
makes no sense.
They don't leave that. They don't leave it because
No.
their mindset, like you just describe and play off in the series,
Mhm.
they're stuck in this little thing. It's the car. It's the way they treat people. It's their attitude.
Right.
It's all the same concept.
You can buy Maybach badges on eBay.
So stupid.
Let me ask you this. It goes back again. It's a step further than you're already explaining, but why does he up badge the car?
Because it is a way that he thinks, just like anything else, that he's getting away with something. In life, when I found out that you never get away with anything, that's when it all changed for me. Oh, yeah, I'll never come back to this restaurant again. Give him, whatever.
Full of shit.
Oh, yeah, that doorman, I'll never see him again. Oh, that barista, I don't need to tip on the little, say, who tips on those things? I'll never, all bullshit. Everyone remembers everything for as long as they live. They remember if you're rude. They remember if you're cheap. They remember if you're snide to them, if you steal, if you're dishonest. We will never forget, ever. And if you let that sink in, beautiful things start to happen because you can start to change. And when you do the exact opposite of that, life is easy as hell.
You find out how easy doors open for you.
They open for you
100%.
because there's someone opening it for you and he's your fucking friend.
Mm-hmm.
Never burn a bridge.
Ever.
Ever. Be Switzerland. Always. Always.
The only bridges that get burned with us are ones that other people light on fire themselves.
Yep. They burnt it from their side.
All right.
Not on our side.
We'll happily rebuild it if you ever want. Just give us a holler.
We
The
love
only
you. We're not
bridges
mad
that
at
you
you
guys burn is when your straight pipes go by that bridge.
Yes, that.
And it catches a little piece of kindling
Yep.
and there it goes. Another
That's it.
Gentani fire accident.
When we hate on pops
Yeah.
Or Porsches. I'll burn that.
or
bridge.
manual, we hate on a lot.
Yeah. If you make
Make a lot of
Porsche
enemies.
your personality, you can go ahead and burn it for the two of us. I don't want anything to do with you. So I'll get ahead of that. I'll say that right now. But I'm telling you, should we hit him with you think he's studied? He seems like he's done his homework. So I don't think this is gonna be as fun as everybody else, but I think he's gonna have the most creative.
I think it's gonna be more fun.
I think
What do you mean?
he's gonna have I think he's prepped for it.
Yeah.
What do
That's
you
gonna
think?
make it more fun.
hit me.
It is. Every guest
Bring it.
gets the same three
This
questions.
segment's brought to you by Tile Nudes.
Yeah, do you guys need to do a spot
No,
or
no,
something?
no.
Oh, okay. All right. That was just you're fucking with me.
Yeah, it's just
Okay.
just a joke because it's got a style.
We got to keep you on your toes.
I appreciate that.
Literally.
We'll let you finish that sip. Are you ready?
Of course.
Dr. Crown.
Talk to me.
Which Crown is a super cool last name, by the way.
Thank
That's
you.
your last name.
It's my last name.
That's pretty sick. So just had to throw
Just
that
like his
thing about that
mustache, it
right
fucks.
when- It looks like it does for sure.
That's right.
Anyway,
That's right, folks.
what's the most overrated car?
Okay. Yeah. Remember you guys said I prepared?
I
Yeah,
knew it.
yeah.
I fucking
I didn't
knew.
just prepare.
He did the reading.
I did the reading. I also created a poll on my Instagram before coming down here. And I asked my audience on Instagram, what is the most overrated car brand?
Brand.
So we kept it at brand,
Mm-hmm.
and we have thousands of data points, guys.
Fantastic.
So we have statistical significance.
Yep.
I will list the options: Ferrari, Lamborghini, McLaren, and Porsche. Okay, I didn't list everything under the sun, guys.
Right. What else? What else do we need? Let's be real.
Anything out of that box doesn't matter. No
Mhm.
disrespect.
Okay.
None taken.
Aston's up there, but
It's not. It's not up there.
No disrespect.
So the number should start with the most rated, the most fairly rated car. Okay, and then we'll finish on the most overrated.
Perfect.
Do you want to guess?
Yeah, because
No, I don't want to. Never mind.
I'll guess.
Okay.
I guarantee I'll get it right.
Yeah. Guess.
Okay, I'm going off because again, we have a high statistical data here, but it's also his audience.
Because
You gotta
I have
think about
honestly,
his
I have
audience.
no clue.
This
Okay.
is
I'm trying to think about
insane.
it. I have no clue.
I think,
But I
and
think you know what it is.
this is going to be crazy. Now, okay, I'm going to go with. I think McLaren's going to be bottom. I think Lambo's going to come in second last. I think Ferrari will come in, and then Porsche's going to come. Or I'm sorry, other way around.
The other
I'm
way
sorry.
around.
So Porsche bottom,
Porsche's least overrated.
least overrated. Then it's going to come Ferrari, then Lambo, and then McLaren.
I feel like Lambo's going to be number one.
Okay. If you combine your answers, you're dead right.
Fuck. That's
Okay.
what I'm talking about, baby.
The
Supercar
most rated is Porsche.
Mm-hmm.
12% of people
Say
voted
it's
it as
overrated.
overrated. It's the smallest group. Okay.
Wow.
Moving up one notch.
Finance bros, man. Somehow.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Moving up one notch. Ferrari. Okay. Ferrari. One more notch. McLaren.
Mm-hmm.
And for the most overrated car brand, according to my audience, at 39%, Lamborghini.
39%.
Yes.
That's madness.
Yeah.
Now, here's what I'll add to that. Anyone who thinks a Lamborghini is overrated hasn't been in a goddamn Lamborghini.
No, they haven't.
Exactly.
It's incredible.
Exactly. That's why I'm astonished by that.
Drive a 911, then I mean, even drive a Huracan, which everyone wants to give this hard time. Oh, Huracans are slow.
Huracans are
this.
fun as hell.
Go drive a Huracan and drive a 911.
This is a doctor's orders. Go drive a Huracan and call me in the morning because you are going to freaking love it.
It's going to be so
Yeah.
much fun.
I think that is a reflection of brand and maybe a little bit of social secret sauce thrown on top.
100%.
Okay? Because I feel like I want to drive a Lamborghini, but I feel like I can't. Does that make sense?
Yes, because you don't want to be the douchebag.
What's wrong with being the douchebag?
It just got real quiet in
I
here.
don't know, what's wrong with being the douchebag?
You like being the douchebag.
I love being the
but here's the
douchebag.
deal.
But you don't want to be the douchebag.
No.
Am I wrong?
I hate. There's a subtlety to
Are
my.
you looking at him right now? Don't go there. You look at him right now. Come on.
He did bring his own headphones.
I'm not playing, guys. I think that I don't want to. The series that I did, right? It's brands and this and that. It's make believe. Do what
Mhm.
you love. Ferrari, Lamborghini, what? Gucci versus Laura Piana. Who cares? Do what you love. What's fun? What fills you with joy? Actually drive the thing. And my problem is I feel like I am not allowed to love the woman I love. You know, I'm not allowed to do it. People go, well, Nick, you know, you're a pretty classy guy. I don't want to see you driving no Lamborghini now.
Where has this voice been?
It's always been here.
Oh, there's a cage of those things in there too. Oh, yeah. He hasn't even unleashed fucking a
No,
quarter
no,
of what's
no.
in there.
That's just, yeah, that's like second on the list of 1,000.
So you're saying that you yourself don't
Feel pressure to not buy a Lamborghini.
Do you feel like you're not deserving of it?
No.
I
feel
feel
like
that
I
because
feel like I have oversight in an invisible web of onlookers
Mhm.
saying, don't you do it.
Because I feel like a Huracan would be fun, but people hate on the Huracan so much now.
I had I was just in Vegas a few weeks ago and I got a Huracan for the weekend, doing the same thing, playing with different cars. $1,000, $1,200. Great car for the weekend, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had so much fun
It's so fun.
in the Huracan. I was like, why didn't anyone tell me about it? This is great. It's great.
It's so rowdy.
Also, the roof line is lower than the 488. The 488 has too much, and it's going to sound crazy. 488 is too roomy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm built for speed, boys. Like I'm lean,
100%.
I'm dialed
You're
in.
supercar sized.
I'm supercar sized.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. That's
The two of you, the two
I'm
of you are supercar sized.
Hey,
two of you.
I've coined this phrase for myself,
pretty
all right?
funny.
And I just brought you into the fold.
All right, fine, fair enough. Okay, so I don't need all the room. The roof line. I felt like I almost can't fit. I don't want to fit in a supercar. Fitting in a supercar means it's almost not a supercar anymore.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing lamer.
You can't
than-
move your knee like
No.
this.
There's nothing lamer than having room in a car.
I agree.
Yeah.
So what are we talking?
The Huracan
so
was fun.
So yes. So I posted a photo of me in the Huracan, tongue in cheek, because I know the labels that are going to be placed on me. I know the shade, right? I'm in a financial space, right? I am extremely serious about my business,
Mm-hmm.
but I am a fucking. I like to have fun.
Yeah.
And I
You're
don't
degenerate at heart.
Absolutely, he wouldn't be on the show.
I like to have fun, and I don't take myself too seriously. So it's like I pull up to the Aria. We're gonna go to Carbone, right? And I get out of the car, and I had the valet take a picture of me, and I just go, "Do you accept Dogecoin?" Like, right? Like
just play into it.
playing into it. And I'm not gonna lie, there was some negative feedback that I got from that photo because a lot of people take all this shit so seriously.
Way too
You know?
seriously.
It's like it's a car. It's a
Mhm.
car, guys. It's a car. It's a car. It's a car. They make funnier colors than Ferrari does. Sorry, that's it. It's a little louder.
Yeah.
It doesn't break that often.
Yeah. You can drive it.
Can't you let me live?
You can put 15,000 miles on it and not be so worried about the value.
Correct.
That's what's confusing me because
Do you see what I'm saying now?
I kind of do, but the problem is, and this is my disconnect, is I don't remember when we gave a fuck about what other people think of us.
Mm,
You feel me?
I think I'm having
Imagine,
a transformation.
imagine
Says
what when
the
I'm
Huracan
driving
hater.
down the road in that thing. Imagine what people think of me. Imagine,
It's
especially
interesting.
the envious people, because all that it is in
The
the
envious people hate you.
that's the thing. The people that you're talking about that you have that looming like feeling of
Yeah.
like they almost want you to do it so they can come at you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
It's the envious people because they want you to have something that they're like, nah, fuck this guy. Write him off. Fuck this guy. So it's those people that you're allowing to hold you back to doing exactly what you know you're going to enjoy the most.
Mm.
Fuck those people. This goes for everybody listening. Fuck those people.
All right, guys, let's go buy an Aventador. Print it.
It's almost like, because that's the thing, you kind of got there at the point where you were like, the Sterrato is, you moved off of it.
I did.
You know what I think you would like a lot
What?
is a perf.
Yes. So I've been looking at perfs on the DL.
It's the dark horse.
It's the dark
It's
horse.
a creep.
Perf-
It's a dark horse.
Yes.
The Perf is
Yeah.
such
Dark horse.
it's such a beautiful, perfect car.
It's amazing.
There's I don't want to say this because everyone in your freaking channel is like, arbitrage car buyers and whatever, but there is one that I'm not going to say it.
Don't
Don't even say it.
Hey, you'll have like 3
we'll say
weeks
it
to
off
buy
camera.
Yeah, right. We'll talk about it off camera.
Yeah, we'll talk about it
Right.
on camera.
We'll tell all of our life's deepest, darkest secrets on camera, but the car that I want, that's off
We'll
camera.
talk about it over sushi.
Can I tell you what I know is going to be the favorite thing about that car for you? The interior.
Yes, because it all comes up with that forged carbon, right?
In the Alcantara. Alcantara?
I say Alcantara.
Okay,
Alcantara, that's what I
you're a
say
reasonable
too.
human being.
Okay.
You look
Alcantara,
anywhere in that car,
Alcantara.
it's either Alcantara, Forged carbon.
It's what it should be.
Yes.
You can't see anything else.
It
I'm either
looks like
seeing
a
forged carbon-
supercar. You're sitting inside, you're like,
Yes.
this is a supercar.
This is it.
Yes.
And then you add the Lambo tightness, you add everything. It is the not only the perfect Lamborghini, but it's what it should be. It fits exactly where it should be.
And what's
Yeah.
funny is it still has the old Audi system that's like easy to use, and there's a volume dial.
Oh my god.
Because
You're
it's
so
the
right.
Gen 1 infrastructure.
Yeah.
Yes,
Because
because
like the Audi infotainment stack is actually really nice when you know how to use it.
it's
Super
crystal and
easy.
convenient.
Yeah,
You know
I love
everything's at. The new one, the biggest problem is to turn the volume up. I got to fucking click to even get the menu, and then I got to do it. And I'm
you
like,
gotta
I'm
slide it.
driving. What am I doing?
Crashing.
Yeah.
What am I doing? Like, this is just ridiculous.
hazard.
It doesn't make
It
any
is
sense.
It should be
It doesn't make
illegal, but that's another conversation. All right,
perf.
we got next question.
Oh yeah. I forgot we did that. We're on the guest questions.
Yeah,
I forgot about that. Okay. Second guest question. What is the most underrated car today?
Underrated.
Sighs deeply.
The thing about underrated, like we're talking about, like I feel like everyone comes out with like, the VW Golf from '91 was sick. Like I don't have that answer. Yeah, I'm not.
No
that
one
guy.
has said that.
I want the Dr. Crown answer.
Don't you remember back in the day when everyone was modding the what were the fast? They were Golfs, but they were fast. GT. There was a Volkswagen
Golf GTI.
GTI.
Yeah.
Remember those?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not my answer.
No, it's not mine either.
It wouldn't be ours. Don't worry.
Although a guy with a Golf GTI called me gay for hating on pop-pops. So. And I'm married to an actress and drive an Aston Martin, so.
Right. It's all good.
Gay
Good luck.
Gay as fuck.
I eat sushi on the weekends.
I eat sushi with Nick Crown on the weekends. I'm somebody.
Nice. I've now gone too pretentious. Love it. Full circle.
We brought it out.
Mm-hmm.
We brought it out.
We talk about supercars. It's bound to happen.
I think the most underrated car is any McLaren because you probably statistically haven't sat in one yet. And when you do, if you're a Porsche guy, you're not going to be a Porsche guy for long because you're going to get the precision. You're going to get the feel. And then you're going to get all this other crazy shit. You're going to get a little bit more problems, I think.
Mm-hmm.
A lot more problems.
And
That's
I'm
what,
not just
and that's
saying
what they're
that-
all
a lot.
going to say.
Yeah, and I'm not just saying that. I did experience a few electronic and mechanical things. For instance, the spider top, I just pressed the button and fucking nothing happened once. And I was like, well, that's not a good sign. And I
Just
did
turn it
start the
off.
car. Nothing fucking happened once. I was like, oh, McLaren.
Fantastic.
But I enjoyed it so much more than my experience. I loved my GT3 RS. I loved it. But this was like all that and some other cool shit.
100%.
So anyone who hasn't been in a McLaren, because it's again, the pricing is catching a falling knife sometimes, unfortunately, but it was an eye-opening experience.
Mhm.
The only thing that I go with the McLaren is just the sound.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest sound freakazoid. Like you guys know a lot more about that than me, but everyone knows the McLaren is just.
Doesn't
They're not
sound
there
as
to
good.
make it sound like anything. It's just going to sound what it sounds like.
You
But
can
it feels
beef
so
up.
perfect.
Yeah.
They drive incredible.
Because that's
Yes.
now that's the biggest thing. And like, I'm going to say some outlandish shit right now. So like, I think eventually, like you said, the Porsche owner will transition to McLaren if he really dials
have
it
to.
in. The problem is they're similar in certain ways, but then the most important thing to the Porsche owner, they're drastically different, is the reliability.
Mm.
The closer McLaren can make that same product reliable, the more they'll overtake the Porsche's market share.
Mm.
Simultaneously speaking, the reason it goes back tailored into the depreciation. I think people forget why do cars depreciate? Why? Like I feel like no one's actually really talked about this. Like what is the point of a car depreciating? Besides the fact you put miles on it, you get older. Well, what comes with those?
The width of the bid-ask spread.
Exactly.
The
Why?
demand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why is there larger bid-ask spreads versus other times? But this is the key of it. It goes down to the problems that the car has. The reason why cars depreciate is because of the cost of fixing things, and on top of that, as certain cars get higher in mileage, they become more risky. You're buying a problem.
Mm.
That's why a Huracan, you can put 15 on it and the value doesn't change because even after those miles, the car's probably still reliable enough where you're not buying a headache. Versus a McLaren, you're buying a 5-year-old McLaren with 30,000 miles. People assume that that's going to be a headache to own.
Mm.
I
So
might
it-
get hit with a $10,000 repair bill.
Exactly. So you
Yeah.
have to compensate for that. And it's why people are like, why do Porsches hold their value so well? And they make all these things. They don't have that many problems when you fix them. So the ownership cost doesn't carry too much, so the car holds its value. McLaren's number one problem is the reliability, thus meaning the cars depreciate like a motherfucker. Same thing with every British brand.
By the way, we have 3 minutes.
3 minutes? Okay, fine.
Just heads up.
10 seconds on my rant, I'm done. Every single British brand depreciates. Why? Name every British brand, I'll tell you exactly they're the most problematic cars.
Okay.
Bentley, problematic. Range Rover, problematic. McLaren, problematic.
Aston Martin.
Aston Martin, problematic. They only depreciate because they're problematic.
They have tons of car. Yeah.
German
we only have
cars.
3 minutes, but the wrench in the gears here are older Ferraris. What the hell's going on? What's going on with that, gents?
I
Well,
wanna
now
go
you're
down
talking
this,
about
but I
people with
can't.
actual money because you're saying that they hold their value.
They do.
You're talking about
With
Problems.
freaky levels of shit.
You're talking about people with actual money buying those.
So you're saying
cars.
it's two different markets that don't kiss each
Yes.
other.
Absolutely.
Like when
Current
you're
day
buying
McLarens.
when you're buying a older McLaren or older Ferrari. These are people that are just from the start they
price
know
insensitive.
they have to do an
Collector.
$8,000
Yeah.
engine out service every couple years.
Yeah.
Collect.
So these people, they know it. And it's like the $8,000 is whatever. I want my gated manual Ferrari.
Right.
Yeah. It's not the guy that just got promoted to broker and he's just upgrading his life a little bit. That's a 720 guy. That's not a guy going out and getting a
That's interesting.
355. I'm telling you. Now, time's sake, we have to just dive into this raw so we can get your answer out.
Okay.
You want to ask it?
3-car garage, SUV, supercar under $1 million, and then you can get a supercar over $1 million if you want.
Okay. G63 AMG for the SUV.
Beautiful selection.
Don't come now.
McLaren 765 LT under.
Okay. Hypercar.
Damn it. McLaren P1.
That's a great choice.
That's a great
I love the
choice.
P1.
Great
A
choice.
hybrid. You picked a hybrid.
I did, but I also picked the closest thing you can get to something that shouldn't be in your hands.
100%. But I think in your hands now, after your year of training, you might be able to utilize that car more than you think you could.
I appreciate that.
Of course, baby girl. I got you.
Well, that was Nicholas Crown. And we're Supercar Connection.
Yep.
This was great, guys. Thanks for having me on. Seriously.
We
Thanks for
appreciate it
coming on.
tremendously.
I feel like we'll have it again.
Let's
This was
do it
fun.
again.
Oh, this will be
This was-
there will be a part 2.
This
to
was fun. You're going to be a regular on here.
Yeah, 100%. I
If
can't
you
wait.
want to be.
Oh, I want to be. It's consensual.
We're out.
You want to plug your socials real quick? Sorry. My bad. I'm
They know
sorry.
where to find him.
I'm sorry.
Nicholas Crown.
Nicholas Crown.
Yeah, my company's Revised Financial. I'm Nicholas Crown. Yeah.
This is Supercar
I'm just here to
Connection.
talk about cars, though. Yeah. Thanks for having me on, guys. Let's get some sushi.